We are in once again. We are in. We are ready. Yes. Oh boy, I am so happy to have you out today. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home, everybody. It's Sunday again. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. We are ready. We are ready. I have the panel here. I have our amazing panel. Everybody is in the house. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly, text me, let me know. We have no time to waste. No glitch allowed today. Binto Bantaba Network, we changed the name. Slight change to Binto Media Network. We want to make it official today. Binto Media Network. We welcome all the Gambia lovers, all our in-laws around the world. We're Malten Kulambali Jaila, Binto Natala Koteke, Allah sister, Binto Bantaba, Binna Kacha, APRC, NPP, Ila Alliance. Nagesol Sotajende, yang honor yenna invitation honor le indata yela hajo today mbalten tulambal jeyila kotake ngampulo lan sisoto all the time ma faade na alate woman kenene I do not take things for granted. I'm always grateful. Well, I know when I wake up every morning I put that big old smile. Somebody else is out there that does not have the opportunity to smile. So I am really fired up. If you have any questions, you hold on to your questions. We will open the line later on. Guess who do I have here? Najamale Sotojambi, Honorable Samsudeen Sarr. Nakeba, Nakotoke, Dolla Uncle, Alien Manjamin, Takafaila Uncle. Not in the brother Sotojambi, the brother Gibril. APRC, the deputy spokesperson, Abidjan Kotek. Okay, welcome all the time. Now finally, the Gambian platform is open for you guys. Naila Tole, Mampati so Katiol Bay, they are welcome here. Momo Yalongo, you can follow, you know that. So Mbalten Tulambal Jaila once more. Bifana Mudimasol Tinka Kenyame as usual. Our motto is what? Respect. Nga more respect, nga more bunya. Malla findingol ye nanan tariko kono. Ikana kumakangol follow online ya cheko nkanendirole keje. Na timo be duma je ni momo e hormante yake ibinale normal. So alse kamfa nyaonya ali lamoy. Lamoyro aka mola londo yuruandele. So Mbalten Tulambal Jela once more Binto Bantaba Network we had make a slight change nga falindiro ke total domandinga ke Binto Media Network. So everybody is welcome. I will bring the guest. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay. Uncle Sam.
Yes, alaikum salam Binto.
You are welcome to Binto Media Network. We have made a slight change instead of Bantaba to Media. But the show is still called Binto Bantaba. You are welcome. This is not your first time, and I'm grateful to have you again. I'm humbled.
Thank
you. Can say hello to the viewers.
Yes, hello listeners. Here we are once again invited to this special media outlet, which has been very progressive, very dynamic, and has been, rendering the Gambians a well appreciated service. So today we are here invited once again to participate in a very interesting subject relating to the APRC NPP coalition agreement. So thank you very much, Binto. Once again, I have my colleague Dodou, and I welcome him and say hi to him too.
Okay. Ja.
Now.
Ni manke follow so mbe bulala ni moli nyo konto.
Abarka bake Sister Vinta be ite follow le kontonna be tentula be jela yenjia ila programme to patenke andum ba fala jiberlal be ko mbal kontonna mbal nimbarala momo mi alon ko binto media network amula fans waleti no men ka binto bantaba programme fana jibe balbe kontonna benna alpha fana kontonna his excellency colonel Samsudeen Sarr molo mi alon ko Gambia dingol ka karanga bulu ala audio to ala saferol to ay bukol men safe ameta manke biti woto molo mi alon ko banko le nyanta fola ko ini mbara be alaji Gibril Fade fana expect kan atelom na USA branch amanti na jahan kolom telata mwateti na duntala be o ko ngela ngalon ko abe domoro la walatina na domoro ke
Abinakande, he's on his way coming. Gibril Fadia will be here.
Yes, I wanted to add that about Gibril.
Yes.
You know, he always calls me his teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a wonderful guy, and I haven't heard from him for quite a while, and I was looking forward for us to really get this session together. Hopefully, Dodou may be wrong, should be wrong in saying that he's eating first. But if he is, hopefully he's going to finish eating right now and come back.
Right.
We look forward to him to join us ASAP as soon as possible.
Yes, he will be here very
soon. He's a wonderful guy. He's a very great man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, running a very good U.S. branch of the APRC with Malik Bai, Pachalo, and a host of them who are very dynamic and doing tremendous job over there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you.
Before we start, thank you all again. I'm humbled. What is the whole idea? Mbinaka chanyen start la because we don't want to waste any time. What was the whole idea behind this NPP APRC alliance? Mine adalilo sambana.
Abarka bake Sister Binta men National Executive Committee Fabakari Tombonjata Toyala ala nyato koya patentula mbaje lambe imayani jata kende adualae ntol mu funding kellati ni nata na executive wala karolla alfal bi gelle wolle silo wala ntolye fo ketamenti bi fonse tentunye jey bi mafo Gambia damma bari ni dunia beka foko duguja APRC be pol kono meatina teketa momenti bi andung lafta men fola nga kumale karang the right honorable Alhaji Fabakary Tombong Jatta Bulu kabiring 2017 andung nenete nyina la kawo kumonye senkan ako kabiring tolbe man sakuda ujamale tamata mi alonko anilu amanta kulo mi alonko amanyanna kala mambetia kunyi man sakuda sakata bake ikana wo pol senkan ako ntol fanan nene mantara opposition ngam fanje opposition kabrimbe man sakunda opposition kama nyame tol fanan bakatala ntewo senkan na koteke andu konse ala tentu APRC wati kilin nene man soto ko APRC le bankola lwati nya Gambia janga nene manke wati kilin tije mol sa foko APRC fitno le wulindi ni banko kan wati kilin tije mi alon ko ngabalamba yitandi banta mi alon ko ay chocho wulindi ni banko kan oto mbe alpha tentula mbe gal jayla bake ila discipline kan kamoli amari sabarola kamoli amari kuluola andu kabula luwa noma a supreme party leader his excellency former president ya Jammeh akanyinkumol fanane senkan kana moneng andi moyen neng kana jo na banko la luwa bunya na dua banko yandu akairo ngani ya Gambia na alpha le karandi nyin na ndu yenyin silole yele tolye latin nan tol fanan dindingol hanyita dunta politiko kono lota simpukola andu abeni mkulu wani dajiko andung APRC kabringam fanje opposition tol sonta alala kerola ko ay bondi jele man sakuda dole bige bari na hammo aninna ngani o ketamenti num kabrin 2017 wolom next presidential election lamu 2021 be Murla State House jiko bijele ku fulala be murulla je be lola faye nga gagné nga muruje wala ni parti do ba kala go ba to NPP man soto monena ma mira ko president Adama Barrow bala parti o lola le bari nyinga ni o nyinga mo a meta APRC le ningin na tenten ko etin kabri nyin commission ol be lota na executive ya je ko balamba ate call sotla le bari fonse mansa engage fonse government engage nga nyaton call engage nan na sula ko yitande walla sa tamano andum kabrin honorable May Ahmad Fati kabra keta intiro minister call be menye soto o nyilom bangula kote ngo na pati nyaton ko e ka futala office wonyin nani wolka kachala ni wolka nyomo ele bake paski wo bala maralo le koto president Adama Barrow na executive ka futayale kan na wasi dal faye ko kumyalo ko pali akulo APRC la kola ka dantaye ka je ko tolla sembobe tolle bulu amandir nyaabe tolle bulu pour tol sen na problème ni tekya ano abe wole nyama commissionol membe lota ni banko kan luwale allodi na banko la constitution wala ya marolo wala sonta wala tol mantana soto ni commissionol membe lota na challenges be damen wala na nyini karol be damen alonya ani folmen tamata be alon ko ani loi manta san pour ka pol soutiandi nata state house la ni president ani nyako pol ka kachana executive la o time wala interest filtita ka je ko hani bi APRC be lori simple wala be sulalan tolla pour nya sembentu ya pour ila mansa kuda e second term soto dunta wo kono in 2018 kabringa nyatiling operation 3 years la movement na o time wala kachani intensified isilanta ko ni APRC yada ka funum operation 3 years asekeno mansa kuda hanna mambo jang fitno sekeno ni banko kan bari na nyaton ko ya tamane ni majority la ni loi ya foko do date woto wala ko coalition na kollati dolle nyanta ka bon nyoto yimbe ko coalition kachani a folota wala wota mo NPP mawulu mol nyante hakilo tula wala bari president wo ya je ko sulata APRC la ni lata kan abe men nyini kan aba sotola andu nyinko nata ka bambang in 2019 kabri UDP ni president Adama Barrow talata wo watole ay nimiro soto kaba pati o lola ando ya londe ko ala pati o damma sulata menna ata soto nola nim time wala start ka intensify e nyatiling APRC la bari lafta men koynila wolom in 2018 committee le londi la molle tombonta pour ka president engage wolom the joint declaration mentamata ni former president and the EU ECOWAS ni UN tema molle londita pour ya je ko ni president mo e nyoje kachaye ke andum ke ni wolbe futala je na pati nyaton ko ya itandi former president na ko itol dikita men na ko wolom president Adama Barrow abe sulari ko ya bambunga sembentu ya second term soto bokola na supreme party leader ko sanju altol fana alman interest soto ba na interest soto le nyinne kacha da muta between APRC and president Adama Barrow anala mansakunda ninko ala mansakunda party tomal dijele dambe ko NCP NRP PPP andum PPP yinde be dunje janni NPP benala NPP fana data kallo last year imang handi saji fula si woto multa fula noko kom coalition no nying abring adamu tata wala purna president Adama Barrow sembentu ya wo time o manke coalition ya moti purka sembentu ya na la kan ko pati wo dol ya sembentu ya nyame wala be nunje andu nyim coalition kacha nsa foko amang hani karifula si abring min NPP dunta nyokono ngakacha purbe ke kilenti amang karifula si nsa fono ko nyim araba nala wala be kala 7th week kabiri kata da mutata misal fe kacha nyin kata lokum fula do use pour ka futa na molla dan di lokum kilingo nyin me yake ala lulu nyango wota mole e moyo nyin dadata anata ka sign party fulol tema in short the alliance a fulota janne pour ka somarage do ron wato tije a starta le kabiri end of 2017 bari abambanta 2018 kana 19 surtout 19 kabring Adama Barrow ni UDP talata o time ole ala aya nyatiling APRC kan bake pour ka je ko mbasembe
so ngamwele ka foko alla supreme leader ko fatul ma nyinin karo ko fatul ma interest sotoje ibe president Jammeh la ba
hambe atela comme mo jama ya lo nyame politiko ka foko i jawo fo fa wote caring like permanent enemy atije ga kari wala ninka fo munna teri lati fo faw memo permanent friend atije bari permanent interest la bije itela sulo ila hajo li lafta menna wato wati ni politiko ti wona kalo dol ko itol man la wola ha wo mu itol la biro lati la lodula longo bari ko lata wo ko politiko permanent enmity je permanent friend je bari permanent interest long wate tol kanyin ne push ando ni ko interest abe talarin talada sabala a bolietu ko ibake polo folo wolom banko la interest banko le warta na political na patiol la banko le warta tol mo kilin nalu pulanyango wolom political interest patiola interest patiwo fanan ne warta tol mo kilin nalu na sulul anina dimbayalu sabanyango wolom personal interest mo be politiko kono alafta fennale andu mol lafta menna ka fatale do lafta ko dolale do lafta palaso wala do lafta le ay tarakul kono kamabe ko ku katama ya kalamuta momo ana lafta fen bari mbela interest amanke kilinti ani banko la maral nya momo ana la interest momo ana lafta menna na police manke kilinti na manifesto manke kilinti ika mulunne bari abebu ka ke kilinti so nyanta nyinne fahamla ye personal interest soto nyaawo nya pati wala interest la warta ila personal interest bi inte guru jalafta menna nani pati wala lafta menna walita nyola be jenkende la pati wala lebe tabala pati wala interest al warta nyaawo nya banko la interest wala bae santo na pati wala interest bambanta nyaawo nya banko la interest na lota pati wo mba jenkende la karala nga banko la interest tamani da nyin intro sabo momo keta politician oti anyanta nyin faham la kendake na manke woti inne diamulal siyande am politiko faham ima kenya fanam faham poli nemmole soto wala be bulu men diate de o sata bari politiko bukatama o nya politiko aka karanne imma ya karando bulu wala ifango ya hakilo tamandi ye kiskisoro ke politiko la kenya la ya karai faye ando experience be mako la fana ni ba kono e tanta kono wala e meta kono foye ku karam politiko la karola sa nyin interest je andum banko pati wandum dolfana mo kilin nalo la interest nyin nam politiko.
Okay, thank you Ja. Honorable Sam.
Yes.
We heard you are part of the key negotiators. What came up what do you think this whole idea started from?
Yeah, thank you very much. Looks like Mr. Fadia is here. Welcome.
Yeah, he came in.
Fadia, you know.
He's in.
Okay. Apparently, you probably were following my political activities in this country for quite a while, well before even this initiative came up. That I was once, I called myself freelance politician. I was not part of the APRC as such. I worked for the APRC government with dedication and sincerity. And at a point when the trajectory of the nation changed in 2016, I saw things that were going wrong. And I stood my ground and say, I am not going to succumb to this kind of politicking. And I have always remained resilient in my position. However, in the process of looking for what I can do best for this country, at some point, I walked across the Pakunda Inn and saw a stream, a river, that was once the most beautiful landmark in the country. Polluted so nasty that my heart broke that day. Took videos and said, I was going to do something about this. First, I thought KMC, under KMC jurisdiction, I could go to the mayor and talk to him about it. But when I went there, they played it down and acted as if they were not very much interested. Now I see them doing something about it. And at some point, I called government officials and said, I want this done. This is good. And everybody I told the story was very enthusiastic in making it happen because they know what I'm talking about. Some of them even remembered how great this river was, and it's been polluted and destroyed almost to its dead end. So I spoke to my friend Ibrahim Sankare, and he said, I think if you talk to Barrow about it, he should be receptive to your proposal. And I said, if he is receptive to I will leave everything about politics or talk anything against him and focus on fulfilling this. Then he made arrangement, and I met Barrow. And he was so happy. He said he even was looking at it like some kind of landmark he saw in England when he was living there. But he said, I would do whatever it is to sponsor it. Then, after everything was said and done before my departure, I said, well, I have seen the political situation in the country, how it has evolved. You know, I told him how I was not a fan of the TRRC because of its the composition and constitution of the TRRC, and told him what I felt bad about it, that, you know, it wasn't going to yield anything progressive when he comes to implementing their recommendation or prosecuting Yahya Jammeh and his people. And he didn't respond, but I told him it would be better if you, for national reconciliation and progress, to invite Jammeh back home like he did to Jawara. You know, because thousands of people are still behind him, seriously loyal to him. So anybody telling you that the whole Gambia is against him is delusional. That, you know, bringing him back will not only show a great sign about African leaders reconciling their difference without foreign intervention, which is now happening in Ivory Coast after thousands have died there, but it will be a symbol of progress in Africa, because now conflict is a no-no. You know, wars are not winnable. You know, conflicts are all destroying the world. So to some extent, he showed some, you know, some appreciation of what I said. He was not committed to anything, but it was my proposal for him to bring him like Jawara did, or like Jammeh did for Jawara. We bring him back home, celebrate him. He's done some mistakes. Those are correctable. Presidents make mistakes. If you listen to OJ's, PPP OJ's speech yesterday at the rally in Banjul, he talked about the atrocities committed by Rawlings in Ghana, who was eventually buried as one of the most respectable state presidents, you know, like talk about South Africa, talk about different areas in the world, Rwanda, where reconciliation was the ultimate goal and it was beautifully achieved. That's what I was saying. And then, you know, 2 days, 3 days after, one gentleman called Sute Jao.
Okay.
And said, President Jammeh said he wants to talk to you. I thought it was a joke, because I haven't spoken to President Jammeh for over 5 years. You know, for over 5 years. All that I was doing on my own principle. So he came here, my wife was here, and I spoke to him for almost 1.5 hours. At some point, he even told me, "Sir, give me a minute, I want to pray and come back." And he told me, all I want you to do for me is join the national executive to see how best you can, you know, achieve this alliance and, you know, do something good for both parties, APRC and NPP. And I say, beautiful, but I can't go to them and do that. Call them and tell them that you send me to come and do it. He said, I'm going to do it. Then I just went there on my own, and, you know, on the whole, on their side, they also had appreciated what I was doing. When I went there, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Deputy Rambo Jatta, Dodou, all were happy that I came to join them and say, now I am an APRC. They put me right into the executive. It was flattering, because I was just an ordinary person without even a membership card, and they put me part of it. So for a while, and before I know it, they say, you're going to be even part of the negotiating team. Up to this time, I never told them about Jammeh. And Fabakary was trying to call Jammeh for him to tell him, for Jammeh to confirm, because I wanted him to confirm that he sent me there. But for some strange reasons, he was not talking to Fabakary. And I attended series of meetings. And there was this day when there was a very heated debate with one person in the executive who was insisting that if he doesn't hear from Jammeh endorsing this APRC NPP coalition, he was not going to be part of it. And impulsively, I told him, hey, I am here because Jammeh sent me to come and join you guys and do this.
Okay.
Unfortunately, to this day, that guy agreed. You know, he's still intransigent. But that's what put me in the negotiation. And my main purpose of going to that negotiating table is to achieve this objective of bringing back Jammeh, giving him the entitlement of a former head of state, as Jawara was given, and be treated like somebody who was just another head of state who probably made mistakes. George Bush, all of them made mistakes, you know. But it would, I think, establish a kind of culture in which future presidents will not be exiled under any circumstances, will not be jailed. Because if the pattern starts now, it will continue. If you let him stay there until he dies, the next government will try to persecute Barrow and even send him to exile, and probably he will die there. So this is why I went there. And so far, I think we are halfway through achieving our objective.
Okay.
I hope I have said enough, right?
Yes. So I will come back. Brother Fadia, you are welcome once again. Can you? Okay. Hani, ate da malba angale kankela, so itening jabe mandika kanwala kala mbeten tulambe jayila inata yendankun na koteke nyimmanke foloti so nga changes ndineke binto bantaba kacha wala bijambar nga media change le to binto media network so nge welcome back lafte ni mole nyo kontong an nga kacha stati komale dalilo mi yatinna ni negotiation at the first place aketa ani ite amera atol min be diaspora alla lo kan mum minute birali amoy for the first time.
Ala baraka bake ngana alfal kontong mem Sam Sarti aning Dodou Jandima na fulo. So I'm very grateful Kal Jejang program once again. Memo be tentulambe jaila program auto and the improvement that you make you made for the Binto Bantaba to Binto Media. But alama kelo kuti membe yirwala fana katandu wala katafo Binto.
Amen.
So going to the topic, kami ya nyame. Me yembula nyina safono ko korole embulala because the first slogan toli memfo from the get-go wala nyintiko we're gonna be a king or the kingmaker. Ni ojube be a king wala mtoli ke mansakunda ati APRC mansakunda the kingmaker wala mga mo soto nimmembe tala another party join. So ngawole for na campaign be from day one. If we don't achieve plan A, definitely we are going to achieve plan B. So until your goal or men set, now the expectation is there. We might not achieve the goal that is to go APRC solo, but the expectation is there. At least we made a team pumbe tanyola. And no me nyinkumaya and the wale nyintiko. Dolka foko munati na UDP for 22 years ibe opposition yala munaya tinantol be silaring ka foko detala opposition yala for another 5 years. It's totally different because UDP la leader is on the ground, Ntol la leader is outside based on MOU Meya Lonko. All stakeholders, walem the coalition 2016, it all let Dakota wala with the international community, but ilawo agreement they didn't honor that. So until Bemune Killer as an executive, as a party leaders, what we are going to do is under the circumstance, Besila Jumale Tala Meya Lonko, Woleben Napatio Sambala Nyato. And then when we look at that, Ngajube interest of force, it has to be the best interest for the Gambia. Then Ngajube Napatio, then the party leader. Because the Gambia is bigger than the party is bigger than any individual. So the decision made is based on that. Amanke ku fayarinti dol sonta dol manson. However, at the end of the day, jama sonta menna and kawaleke. So member tabulo can when we start the discussion when foko. First thing first, there are three things. Many along ko nimman son wala hannal man from batandi any political party for that matter. Kanaka for approach la puntolier until natolier ke kilindi. That is one, Wolem Babili Mansala Muru back to Gambia unconditionally. And the second one, Wolem Alanafulo Beya Murundaka. Fapareta for a soldado member a farmer la corda kono. You woli a bondije, so you walk order fanan maintenance. So this is the first thing me alonko Niman agri wala hani man from Batandi. Then after Atisonta wala the MPP party is sonta wo conditional. So then this is where the agreement started. But komi anka molka for nyamendro ko it's not going to be easy because ntolnana manke opposition ti amanke no APRC manke political party to no before us and opposition natale dorongam fanje in power. So put tolka membalu teng ntol mandalala. And we don't want to get used to it either. Ntol man la fi purka ke opposition coming in 22 years. No, that's not our goal. Ntol lafta menna decision making janibe fintila banta to against the government for any policy make. If you have the opportunity, we have to be part of the kitchen table. Every decision on nabe fintila, so we have a stake in it. You know, by the Nimuman Sakundal, the mayor it belongs to all Gambians. But in Intol Bafola control APRC and Sinso control Dama, UDP coitol Dama, MPP coitol Dama, everybody me. Then there's no patriotism. That means that control man na bankoje. We have to look at our country first before any political party. Okay. So APRC la executive we acted that way. Ngalon ne fanan ko molbe fintila li kan kajafi, they're gonna bring the negative. However, hani atara ibe presidency, you're gonna have that. So this is a practicing ground, to train us to go back to where we belong. And so ngamira the situation if I make it clear abe 10 as of right now.
Okay, memuruna ne kan ibe mutrin. Janga Jama ka fola ko atol la executive for ali personal interest letter ya tol du ko kodolla na fulole ye wala dialla janning albening alla parti wafila lafta yo clarify janning be mbitala foda
barka bake sister Binta ninga wo moy nka jelele ni ko duko andum mol man ko doje wo be fani la bake ni amoy duko na manke kodoti maybe palaso wala FND mola me alon ko abanya wala mol be sulari menna bari ndamani je National Executive Committee molo yalon jangi banko kan journalisol bi jande bari kiskisro wokama kerem bakele comme misal fe investigative journalisol mo soto amansi aja ye menje wolom ye dolje motol be bulule iko president Adama Barrow wala moto di wala molie mem muta na mari be politiko kono wo man nyanna fen sotola nyanta kala foireti a nyanta kala moti membe batari surtout ni be opposition party also mol be famule jannim politiko le ikelle ke dimbayal samba sulata boku la be bulle dimbayal be mol bulu mol e family sotole mi alon ko mol dolbe Gambia dolbe diaspora worke mako ele ku jamale bari ku misal fe ninga samato ko to dum say ba fe ko saya jele inin NPP le ba ke kanne nte fe fam bali yalom woti andum pour kam molon ninnom koti nsa foye ko na executive kono mo kilin ki je mi alon ko president Adama Barrow ye moto diala amantara keri dolu minul ben kono mi alon ko moto kutol be bulu na APRC mo le be jamani man la fi kato fo mi alon ko aka motol le wafu wala ka dina executive molula ake nile wol ka jole domandi munu lafta ko moto niye bang ako a lafta men naka executive fol makoy pul wol fanan ye moto soto ila tanin naye sonia abuka profit nyidi je APRC molo comme aya sanyadi aya sanjelu andum aka menjo pour ka sambana njang aka woda male ta mol bulu ando ay minul be makoy wol ka jole demande fu ko nyiye bang mo jamane na ma wolong bari comme journaliste minul be jan ne kiskisiro kenu abe lonnale fembu kan non nyim banko kam molle be man sakunda na tara baro ya dile kullo kono ameta nyaho nya mol ba lonnale kabirna motol dita kodol dita fo mol ma kala muta bari nene ta moyla ko baro le moto ci ka ya dina executive okay du ya ko lu ngol baro ben sola fenna wala abadi landa na lafta e GRTS commandi ayeke mol be nyaala ya dintela man lafta ayeke kullo kono na ya dinna mbatala le andu mammoje men selono ka fo nyako kanata mu banko dingolati soro mu menti te momo ya dinna mbatala ma fo la jammol be ya moy bari duko e ko do leddi o be to nyata ko andu mol nyanta silala ala nya politigo man nyanati nan ka fani afo ka mol tumi aketa nyaawo nya mbemu muslimo lati andu nyin dunya be bannale kana jutu ila fo ko mola ka même fo aka safele malay kol ka safela andu ala be konti bola lata ko politigo nota le nteman song politigo man no molle nota mo buke forcé ye mo tumi wala ye fani afo wala ye kumola mo kam ila daji kollo boti be ya marin menna ye wo falingi atuje amanke muslimo wala daji koti adama di kerdo wo man nyanna kala la daji koti fata
okay so kuma kan fota itel la voice mo lafte nyinin kala mun dalila le ofo bari janni wo lafta nga play mo be ya moy dudu jaay men fo before
yalo antol malo mo fikiri ala foy asafe yalla ndembe itafati kono ko ci jamabe kaja kanne ibebe tala paroya imalla fi UDPM UDP masa kudaye loja dela foy asafe manke ite komandi ako nyoko ngapani ale foy asafe yalla BBB ndi ngammi dole soto nim pati joye ko ngabe ngakol nyim kaja malla fi kapati tolfo bari be men foy ko imalla fi UDP masa kudaye nyimba ko ka abe jale ibe ka kubaro ka ko UDP kana masa ya soto nyimba ko ka amanke mon nafta barula mo be UDP kale ka nyimba ko ka ko jama ma wole fa bari mo ko imalla fi barola nyawja atele fi chata UDP masa kudaye
okay yo di amomoyle ja lafta lon na le mun dalila le atinde o fo sobe ni alliance ning UDP kelo wala atinali o alliance form
abarka bake sister Binta be makoyla dimmo men kachata men record a kontongo mutum karalati mala post to nyilo abe GDC le na meta kachala yalon ka fo molye ko ni ko secret ko diole be bulu ka fo ko ya pile tinga moy balon na jumalo nde makke nyama to di nimbelul kadiamu nyebe lon ne kilin nimmelon ela ko sol screenshot le andum kabe mabole te ngamera mandinka kangole fo bari mol mam mandinka kango moy baake hani minul mo mandink foti be murulu ne la audio la fo ala follow do la anko be interparty kono ndabe interparty to wolom political party ol be kafuta dame interparty wolom IEC andum biamo kono ye ni parata ye muru audio ni kono ko nim party jamale kachata ma fo ndol APRC de ko nde nim party jamale kachata andum ibe malla fi adama barola bari barole fi siata UDP ma fo APRC la ko wala dan ka ko asafe ni nga nyatiling election na party jama be dafa la baroka wala tin nango maybe mandin ka ko wala mam moy baake ye mur ko dio to ya pile ko te ke molia moy nimmen ka kacha wala tin nango ni be audio pile la kana kuntum molta faham lan te kam fo amari yam men nyinka wala mem fota jandimbe dunna jang akuma dale molia moy bari nien na audio kuntum defe wo mu tapale yala ti kili andu kula nyango dafta dudu jalen non dila wala kante kelendi be fo ngote batandila ndeka mem fo ko lafta men kala andu nyanta men kala na adiata ale mote o baynola andu nin tambinta o ka koma feloroke nganyati linda men ka jedam male wali tan kapirin lota itela nyim programme ila nyim platform auto ko le president Adama Barrow support la le pour 2021 election gagné wole ni ko diol be stadi ka fintindi journalist jama ni wultay ko dudu jang dudu jana bari be ko wala batande la nte lafta men kala intimidation tije mot silande la no mot ko kala kontana bayi nko banku dingolum tati na banko leje andu nyanta men kala mbakela wote bayno bari ntanga men fo ani amaki APRC kuti wala nanko audio play ko take moliamo nko be interparty committee kono ni parti jamale kachata bo damma ya itandi ko mantara APRC ka foko APRC la lodu la mu nyitati audio play ko take moliamo ibenna
okay mba play la ko take alen so nga play ko take pour afaham roe sone ambulu
exactly
yeah Dodou ja
yalo antol ma no pekeri ala afoye asafe yalla ndembe interparty kono in ko ci jama be kaja kanne ibebe tala baroya imalla fi UDPM UDP masa kula e loja ala afoye asafe manke ite komande ya ko nyoko ngafani ale boy asafe yalla BBB ndi ngammi tin dole soto nim parti doye ko ngabe makol nim kaja malla fi kapati tolfo bari be men fo ko imalla fi UDP masa kula la nyimba ko ka abe jale ibe ka fubaro kan pour UDP kana masa ya soto nyimba ko ka amanke mon nafta barula mo be UDP la kale kan nyimba ko ka ko jama ma wole fa bari mo ko imalla fi barola nyawda adele fi chata UDP masa kula
okay so jamaa ya moyle saying go ahead
kuntuta dame ngame fon ko nyilul ko imalla fi barola nyawo nya bari adele yate ti UDP ko dio nyim kuntuta wala do pour wala nan ko ase keno ndemu fulolati bari ani mandin ko lila kango dol ma faham mako APRC ko nyilul ko andu na fanna ko bibi ni ko dole bota kacala malla ka pati to nyim fo andu ko nyilul ko malla fi barola nyawonya a telefisi ata UDP ndenga mem fo ngalonne andu mansira nga mem fo ila nyim ko diol be buba gaji ko kam mem pile aka janjang afango amanna moy na diamola kende ke ata ya muta ko ay Dudu jambu tale naye nyim ko dio ko ta finti gaben ani
okay say nga mo lembe biring albe meeting o alla press conference dula nga mo le honorable ya foko inim parti dol kachatale andum fana ngemo e janne ko binto banta bajang e ko anim parti dol le be coalition o kachakan barete tolu folano barebe MPP le tofala muna sai nin transparency sobe is it not about time ali afontoli o parti mu jamallet
abarka bake amanke nka kulenu bari parti o dul malafi olie fo wolle afoko kabrin kacha beke ka iman la fi itol toye finti sign alu dol awa respect le ni moye kampenta kula wala nga lahido ta nyoe ntun ka kanta buka lahido tinya yello ni won bari de patol minul yake anu wol mambala itol ye finti kasa dale DDC be wolle kono gab abe wolle kono hani gano abe wolle kono nilul man balangi la tol ye finti wala tin danka nilul tol kontile bari fula fo sababi jele wol malla fi toli e fo nyinde atinna nyetol tuje la hidolo mbele sonta ko itolte fala bari amanke ko ngapete babo wala kullolo mani
okay Uncle Sarr.
Yes.
The memorandum of understanding between the APRC and MPP. We are curious, and we want you to tell us about this memorandum of understanding. What is inside, if that's a possibility? We heard the Honorable Farbakar said it will be kept in secret.
That's correct.
Yes. So we want to know a little bit about that.
No, I mean, I think that's a conclusive statement that they don't want to share it with the public. Because if you remember, in the 2016 coalition agreement, it was purely confidential. It was only after the whole process was done, the election contested, they won, that, some bits and pieces of it started coming out, especially when they started dishonoring things that were agreed upon. So everybody saying, we did not sign, we signed. And it had raised so much controversy that if we were to start sharing it now, it will probably take the same route. People argue, change, multiply, divide it, subtract it, get the square root of it, and create their own equation. And, it will, in fact, it might even distract us. Now, if it comes to, now, just fancy, when we are saying it's confidential, and some documents are forged by people, distributing it to undermine the whole process. What about even if the genuine one was brought forward? People will create their own stories. So to avoid this distraction, when it is a secondary matter, we thought we should just go ahead and keep it where it is, and until after the whole elections, because now if you listen to yesterday's rally, speakers at the rally before Adama Barrow, we were at the State House, and everybody made some nice statements there. You would hear the sincerity in the hearts of those who were talking, including the president, OJ, and I think a lot of speakers were, Babakari, Henry Gomez. From their hearts, they are looking at something that is mutually going to be mutually beneficial to both parties, and will take the country forward in a way that is expected to yield success rather than failure. Now, and this is even what was intended during the 2016 coalition. They say in every intention we make, it is normally predicated on good intention and success. Along the line, things might change. But at this juncture, all I can tell you, Bento, is that, we are optimistic that things would work out perfectly the way we want it. And, as part of the brokers, I told them that, when trust is betrayed, you create enemies. That is why today you have UDP and NPP rushing against each other's jugular veins. If any betrayal is done in the future, it's going to rupture a very nice relationship. So far, everybody is trying to build it. Unless we have a hurricane that disintegrates it, I believe it is going to work. So that trust, you will always have cynics. And these cynics are the ones who are coming up with all these things. Mambading Jai went to talk to the Standard, and they slammed a headline that was very distracting. In fact, it was very suspicious of especially those who are doubting the trustworthiness of Barrow when they saw that. And so, it raised serious concern.
Yes,
at the end of the day, it was the guy came back and said, "I did not say that." So you see, these are things. Journalists are even part of it. Part of some journalists in the Gambia, or even part of those who are trying to undermine this coalition for reasons known to them. Because especially those who are partisan in their reporting and all that.
The title said Jammeh's return was not part of the MOU. So and Deputy Party leader came out and debunked that. Yes,
even like I said, we are telling you that our MOU is confidential, not shared with the public. Okay. And somebody comes and says, "Oh, this is not negotiation." I think the next thing I would have asked that person is, "Oh, then did you see the MOU?" He would have told them no, because he wasn't there when the MOU was prepared and signed. He wasn't part of the negotiating team. If he says no, then you would have stopped him and said, "Then how do you know?" That would have ended the game. But the moment he threw the red meat, they grabbed it, salivated, and swallowed it, never chewed it and digested it. That is why they look stupid. The reporters look stupid, because when Rambo Jata, the deputy party leader, came and said, "This guy was not there," and I also came and said, "I was part of the negotiators up to the last day. I've never seen this guy." Then he got embarrassed, I think he was even, approached by the NPP and asked him to make that audio video, which he came and said, they misquoted me. But it has already done a serious damage to people who are skeptical about this. So can you imagine every day on a damage control until the election? We will be more focused in trying on this damage control than doing what is necessary.
Okay.
Go on the floor and tell the people that this is the best for the Gambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fadia.
No.
Okay. Lack of transparency min fenkata MOU. Munatol mamira ko ay balambaya itandi alla party member konole so much minika for no to alliance. Nin transparency kata ite amira ko wala ba qualifici andela bam for albatu lack of transparency.
Well, nde is transparency because ngamenke komi honorable ya Fonyamen Colonel Sarr part of the team. And the men fan response, they are part of the team. Ni atara ite be wofoka, imantara team okono. You will tell them prukatinya because that is their goal. Because ya lonko this APRC NRP nim alaye mako tumandon to lebe election or win la. So they don't want that to happen. So they don't want to wait to go to the field. Il after men not kadun tolkono. It's saji ma. So this is exactly what they are doing. But as far as transparency, it is transparent because near more tombo, you have somebody to the National Assembly to represent your constituency. Now the decision make like vote no or vote yes. No. Because you already casted your vote for ATE speak on your behalf. So this is the power given to the APRC executive. So when you are voting, you have to know whom you're voting to. Because Niatara, you voted for this person, you elected this person, you selected this person to represent you, then it a voice dealer already, a nyanto dealer to that person to represent you until the next election. Okay? So even though I was part of the people that was suggested, we have to just give it to these people. But in Cabinet Lamoy, they give me a feedback. I thought of it, and I know, you know what? I think the Italian menfor, I am convinced. So, but amanke about transparency and not being transparent. It's all about defending the policies.
So, okay, go ahead, Uncle Sam.
I wanted to interject. I'm sorry for that, but
go ahead.
I just want to buttress Mr. Fadia's statement in that, he at the end of the day, what he's telling us is that the executive, they have entrusted the responsibility to negotiate is trustworthy enough for him to settle for their decision at this juncture. He was into this so-called transparency thing. But those who are howling about this transparency issue are those who are saying that they want to hear from President Jammeh. And unless they hear from President Jammeh, who is not talking, they are not going to believe in the fact that President Jammeh authorized this. So even where I came and told them that I talked to him, they are doubtful about it because there is one moron in Casamance who sits there telling them that President Jammeh said no election. In December, Russians are going to bring him with a special force. They will remove Adama Barrow and put him there. And some people say he is even telling them that there isn't going to be any election. But
Uncle Sarr
refuse to register.
Uncle Sarr,
I spoke. Yes.
Does Jammeh have been sending messages on other issues? An issue important like this, why was it so difficult to get Jammeh's voice a little bit to clarify it to these people? Why is it so difficult?
To be honest with you, Binto, I am as equally puzzled, about that issue as you are, that he should have by now come out. In fact, I even at some point felt very much disappointed in that after talking to me, and some idiots, excuse my language, started saying that, no, Jammeh never spoke to you. It was a person who disguised as Jammeh. And they brought his telephone You are talking to us. If I am a recovering lunatic, as the TRRC wanted to make people believe that way, But the bottom line is, I know Jammeh. I know Jammeh well before he even organized a coup. We used to sit down and talk for hours before the coup d'etat. After the coup d'etat, we used to talk. I cannot, in fact, the subjects we were discussing, we are typically subjects that covered our relationship before, during, and after our political relationship. So I could not have mistaken it. In fact, even the guy Sute Jawo now, who came to me, I felt offended that this guy did not come out to support my position, that he came to my house in the presence of my wife, who even told me, don't ever talk to Jammeh again, and brought me this. He could have said, yes, I was there when the controversy, mushroomed to this level. But he's keeping quiet. I asked, why is he keeping quiet? You know what they tell me? Oh, if he talks, Jammeh will not talk to him. So not talking to Jammeh is more important than my integrity, which, makes me feel bad again, that it shouldn't be like that. People should be honest and forthright, in situations like this. But at the end of the day, now, if Jammeh should come out today, I'm talking about those who say they're going to listen to whether and he says, I don't support it, and give them no alternative means. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Because everything they are selling around is not optional. They have no option that people can rely upon if we let go of this. And you must also remember that, Binto, this is not only about Jammeh. This is about a host of people whose lives were purely political. Their lives depend on politics. And they have been sitting, almost relegated in history as meaningless people. And for the first time, they are seeing life and meaning in their. In fact, I support the idea of even saying, yes, you sold your soul. But how can I sit here? You don't hear from Jammeh. He doesn't feed you. He doesn't give you anything. And I'm waiting for him to make a decision for my life. I don't think like that. I will find my own life.
Okay.
So, people are even saying that, yes, we are fine alive, but we are still considering him. And we are going to bring him. In fact, they give him all the respect. I was surprised and amazed by the level of respect these guys give Jammeh. When you go to the bureau, his huge picture is the first thing you see smiling. Before anybody says, His Excellency, I say, Professor Dr. Yaya A. Jaja Babylon. I can't say that. I call him Jammeh. I call him, because, to some extent, I see him just like my colleague. We were in the army together. In fact, he was even my junior. He happened to be president. I respected him. And we walked along those lines. Jammeh knew that I was really not somebody who put him beyond the human being he is.
Okay.
And a leader he was. So that's what it is.
Thank you. Yes, Sarr moy la coming for. So ala foko Jammeh among diamu and mol beta sila no to wait for Jammeh's voice. So where tinale mol laftalala la ko mamba jig ye njaye min nyimmin fo ko Jammeh return ala murungonam ate MOU kono munete amira wodum womu tonyalti bam.
Oh no, Bintu, we said no to that already.
Well, because okay, let's listen to Ja. I will come back to you, sir.
Okay.
Ja. Okay. Brother Fadia, you go ahead. Brother Fadia, you go ahead.
Yalong Pinto Abenyaming, a party is a structure. And under the circumstances right now, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta will be underground. And everybody can follow a So Niatara, there should be a mediator, Ngamira Abe Anyanta Kela, Honorable Fabakary Ning President Jammeh Tolle Nyanta Diamula. Because Yalong Anyanta Kela as a chain of command. So you cannot overstep Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta being on the ground Kataka foko you're gonna only have to listen to President Jammeh. Tonyalem, atele leader. But we have a constitution in the party, and no Atefon he is aware of that. And no he should be proud of what the executive is doing. Because patio is under no circumstances, iba follow ko Pabakato Monjata or Dodou la party or Yankuba Koli la party. President Jammeh la party. And no Atefana Ngalo abe Diala and part of his legacy. And Amantara Jang, if APRC did better, Iba to mention Ladi. And then history will continue to mention his name to doomsday as far as APRC is concerned. So wala tinna ni atara from President Jammeh Mansong. That doesn't mean control beba folako okay. And I will give you a practical example. In 2016, Kaping Aya declare ko ya win. Be here in the diaspora and told Tatale to the radios, including myself, from the coalition 2016, congratulate. Kabrin President Jammeh Fintita Koteke, a co a manson in second results on in Kumandi. And he wanted to fight his right until he meant for Kafoko. No, don't do that because sign Ninga okay problem ole benala. Even though he is right. But Amam Binto at that point, what mind is the people they care for him and the head of state that are very friend to him and the relatives that he had wale nata together kadiamai ka manene. What does that mean? That means no one is perfect. Ateyajenu Nyame what that day, today, if you would have asked him to make a decision, he would say that Tonya Aliye Memfonu, Walebeje, Nafinti, Walebe Cairo, Natila Bangkok, for Wale Monkey. So maybe it seems like history is about to repeat itself. Niara ate balanta kula meya lonka ala Cairo beje mbela Cairo beje and untol be katele noma for over 22 years. Nte amira anyanta bulala ntol la miro le fe ntol ye decision o make ntol ye damage anyanta le afana ye ntol support. We supported him for 22 years. Adiata akuyata, we were there for him. Hani atara ate mansong ntol be sonta the majority. Ate nyanta the buyers. So let me go with my because nil temple anga dun din kokono anun dinta din kokono dawda. If I do not so this is why we are saying this. And let me tell you this. Anyone who will say that he is more APRC than I am. In 1995, my first day in November 1st, 1995, Mbota Airport to straight, I went to the Bronx, Gambia Association. At that time, Babukar Bless, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, during the junta, APRC, Natalie Nkotoma and Samba, straight to that meeting. I was the first person there. Kafoko, I am in support of the APRC because I am from the Gambia. The Gambia. This turning point is what is going to help Gambia. I declare myself there. Kanabula, no day, Ntemantara APRC support can. So there's nobody out there, Menuka Foko, yes, Gibril Fadia, Tenwala APRC there. I challenge any one of them to have a debate with me, Itala platform or anywhere else. They were somewhere else during Water Men. Some of them, they came back because their ethnic were attacked or because their province was attacked, because their interest was attacked. Not my type, not my interest, not my constituency attacked. I am doing it for President Jammeh. When he was in power, nene position enjoy in APRC. So, and I don't need any position to enjoy, but I'm a militant of APRC. I'm in support of Babili Mansa, and I think this is the best interest for him and for the Gambia and for the party to move on.
Okay. Yeah. Jabe Posron.
Nah.
Okay. Ja Dolu ko no to alliance. Minatin na wolbe o fokang aning ngoja mallem.
Abar Okay, Sister Binta, lafta fenne koindila Sam Colonel Sam ya fo ala diamoto. Bolo minul be nyinin karo la pour former President Jammeh ay audio bondi ka foko fa sontale faman song. Ning nimanyina amantambi sinya sabala kabring ala audio adiamuta menna tata viral. Follow fintita was a leak audio amambo ndol APRC kono. Hakilo muta akadula memfo kayankuba koli tonyen wasifalla ye wolle bondi na bota APRC balanu mba bele bondi la. Fulanyamo ntele wo request olom kabring Suleiman Singul Nyas kitib jaju wol paita radio to jang ikan kolle ika wol fanan kolle nyo sabo be siaran mbake itol ko mo kilinte bayno la nyimpati woto na manke ya jamnet wo kola anteni rambole kachata ngafo ramboye parce que ateni galle ka diamu pour fo president Jammeh ay audio bondi pour wol ya moy na manke woti nyinno sabo journalist dolbi je lafta ni use la ka APRC ko inya wala kankungol takindi ngola ay dunyota na party leader dulu woka ko hani mbatu ntenga video call nga diamu ka pol seneyandi wona taka woke ay video kintela nga janjang bari wo martin na gal stopta nga ko ntenga je nyame ate damma se diamu no pour kaje ko nyingo to bebe bandale nataka fa ay call ba akonye ko asontale akaba kelale jumalungo kabring ani rambo kachata ya record rambo ya din tela ntela ya dundi na kuboto ntela ya send to the media houses journalists will be nyinka for dolium call yenyinka is it an old audio or is it a leak audio for hani ntela ya share lafta le molbe ya kala muka molon audio fula nyamoti mi alon ko atata viral molbe ya moy amanke ko aka audio le bondi pour nga janja mol ya moy hani wala nanko nying audio membe bota the first one was a leak audio and no abe mampile ye do person golle kuntu ya janja planyango nyinte kunkilimo la share to the media houses be tulol ya moyle and wo kacha kono aya jamfandi le fire coalition fole ko nin dolte coalition kela aya jama di wo audio nyin kono tele ya janja sa pour kumol ye ko amanke boku naketa ka audio le bondi ndol nga janja mol ya lon ko jammele jim fo ani pati wo bukata wo nyama andu nga fole jamme siata ka fo nyako al tolle bije al tolle allo membete ata pati woto ala tamandi ameta kanyum fo amanke muti ya lon ko nae dolbula dokola telebe bulale no makafo ko janko tale wala jamsi tale
buja
la tanyi executive wala
mbe kuntula bare natolo ko al naka diam le dol groupe dol fana mo dol fana ka fo ko naka diam ite amira ko jamme ka fo janale dundung aya fo jana dandamba
barka bake audio mem fitita wala wolli audio mem fitita aya fole ako pati wala karola ani mo sabada male be diamula APRC la kola olom Babakary Tombong Jatta rambo ani lot meyo yankuba koli wo audio bijele dunia bele o moy akoytale atele ni fayndi ko ani mo bete diamula APRC la kola ani ni mo sabolle bakata san pour ay mo do kol wonte tanati bari idol kachata munela fo APRC kolom bang ate keno la APRC abe tamara nyame misal fe natarante duja mantara executive fokon ya jabe kol ay yamaro dinna ngela nyaali ko pati wo kabulantele no ma hani executive wala be nyaato wala ka pati wo tamandi be ngomem funtita wol bala wolo pati wala yamarot bare aka minul kola ni woli kacha wolte na no la ka ko jamele kol nyanta nyinkela wote ke no la hani momo me alon ko hakilo bala a nyanta lon na ko pati wote tamano la wo nyaala nyaton kol bijele yamarote dila wala bari ma ibadi la dumam kola mi alon ko mol malon fa anna tara abe pati woni kono bari mol ma ya halon palasta bulu mol buka to moy mol ma sute pati woto yamaro nyanta dila wala pour be bula noma hani mol buka tawo nyama ani mol ka jamule aka mol kolle tanate woto bari pati wota mandi nyaton kolle bije ani executive be buka de amude antele ya ani mo sabolle be diamula andinte ala wodi amola nte lata wala mawo soso ma hadi wala sota wala aya fon tulo ya moy
embe wotala katambi bol kam mem fonte tulo mama.
Okay. Mbe Honorable Sambla like am ngamuru na wo question or to kotek. Okay, go ahead.
What I wanted to say is that I think in terms of military operations sometimes, you know, and before we go for operation, we have what they call operation orders that is given by the command. You know, it gives you minute by minute points on how to conduct the operation. Who should take what command, what area to attack, who should attack where, when, and how it should be done, number of people to do it. But, you know, I read a book called Anzio. This was a landing in the Second World War in the European front line, where they said when they landed, every operation order they tried failed. Then because of what they found on the ground was completely different from what the generals had planned to for the troops that were going. And there's everything failed. They call it, they say, the slogan of the book is everything failed except faith and hope. So in the end, commanders were even taking advice from regular soldiers.
Okay.
Because there was no way to communicate with the command. Now, can you imagine under that condition, if soldiers had said, we are not taking orders from anybody until we hear from the general command. When the general command cannot even get in touch with you, you have no means of getting in touch. Now, I'm bringing you this analogy because I'm seeing the same scenario where there is total confusion in the battlefield. But the commanders, the executive, who have been given the original operation order, are using every means to achieve their objective. And some defiant individuals, just out of rebellion, are saying, if we don't hear from the main command base, which is cut off completely, we are not going to listen to the command. So that is in fact mutinous in operations. So this is why I said, at some point, the initiative, the tactics, the moves, all is left in the hands of the executive to pursue it. And Gibril will confirm it, Ja will confirm it. These people are well experienced, well knowledgeable. It's not some people, this is a terrain they live in, politics, terrain of politics. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, I have not known him before. We just started interacting recently.
So it's true that Jammeh is not communicating with Honorable Fabakary.
It is possible that he is, but what I am saying is that it is possible he is, but you know, like somehow people tend to keep this confidential, even when they communicate with Jammeh, which I think is ridiculous. He is no longer a president; he's an ex-president. If he has something good intentions, I think I would have gone and opened my radio and talked to the world like Kwame Nkrumah used to do when he was toppled from Ghana and he went to Guinea. They opened a radio station for him to communicate with Ghanaians, to tell them what he wanted to do for Ghana, how things went bad. And that led to even, I understand, when Rollins took over, he killed all those leaders who toppled him, including Achampong. He should have been out there telling us this is what the world is. There are, in fact, TRRC, so should have made him open a radio. When they say you do this, he called and say, it's not true. Call me. I can come and say it. What is the silence about? What is the mystery about? I don't believe in that.
Okay.
So this is why I am saying that Fabakary and his team, Duduja and others, are perfect. They are trustworthy. Where they are taking this party is wonderful, and they are not. It's not going to be a regrettable achievement, I believe. I may be wrong.
Yeah. Minika foko Noto Alliance. Mina tinne ba foka Noto Alliance and Jamalem. Nga moyle fanan ko to mbe nyilla falaje nga diamo moy mim video sutungo moy abota nang fonyi iko fonyi against KMC atol min yalon ka atol be parti di la barola atol mu KMC leti so lafta yo ko senayandi anim fanan e katol executive holder ne sawunta kata jamme baro support but the majority is not going with you guys, so I want you to wrap that up.
Majority is Fonyi, right?
Abarka bake mba forona dame ngolom pati wonying amanke Fonyi versus KMC wonte APRC.
Okay.
Executive molu ne West Coast mol bondije diaspora bondije region tomal bondije membe KMC damma mansia.
Okay.
Minul be bolaje wala be siala katambi minul be KMC. APRC is a diverse party. Banko la party wolo. Amanke tundo la party woti. Amanke CEO la party woti. Tol kamira tenne bari wonte tonyati. Kabrimben na consultative meeting ol kala. Nga regional bele tama. Region tije manta damento. Nga futata belale. And every constituency ye motande ki urwol mabeta ye represent membe kechala. Ni mol muruta ya janjal constituency ni konyo woto APRC mawolong mawo sifalon minul ko no to alliance yela fansu reason nesoto barinte personally executive fana wonyo nka moja ma engage le welcome mem fo iko itol mambaro toros 2016 coalition ay jamfa aleke ibuka dalil donat tol minul bota foni welcome mem fo iko soldaro lebe foni checkpoint sol bije Senegal el bidele wonyanta bolaje ya jamela baga sol wafitale wonyanta murundila welcome mem fo munati na tol balanna including Lamin Tamba fango ako jamme nyanta murlana gamin quartier be fayla he must come before election bulanyango ate ko naya moy jamme dala ni jamme ko ha ate be sonnale na ko hani ate na madiamu ate de sonna ala lodula mutenneti bari ko APRC banko la pati wolo amanke fonyiti amanke KMC wala North Banklom wala Birkamalong ani Gambia la pati wolo be dale bije diaspora fananda bije wala tinna nganna ci amanol belet kafundi na executive kono Gibril Fadia hay nang sile hani amambo fonyi abe siri USA ameta je sanji jam bari ko ku katama bi na executive committee kono aya kala mutale anu atela nyankolo pour na molu minul be America telom chairmanti ka information janjam pour ide ya sotoke MC versus fonyi wo mantara keri na APRC pati woto tolle wo concept soto andu mo jamale be fonyi de support the executive mol kan kolle audio jama ben na mobile auto minul ka fonye ko dol mbal ko male sa ni dol balanta itolle alongi kabala mudna andu e forcé no la ila nyantolom dol membe kuntolom ni e kacha nga kol koyndi mo be la fla e son bari mote forcé no la andu fenti je nga men num kol ka men fo ko mol nyanta fintila num juna nga diam ite diam mo la fembanta takeri andu na koyndi janne ko nyin araba nala wala be kala loku ngoro kabirin kacha nyin damuta sa ite be kole kacha kan alman kamben fenna alman fen sign sa yenti ni molye diamu iremene fala molye abuka kewo nyam tol ka fala ko ha ndol nyantara lile kumandila mol be ben nganyim ko kacha ibalon na nyaadi jumale be sonna jumate sonna ngara like sa mba fala ko momo sonta e bulo wulindi nga kontiroke wala minul man son al bulo wulindi nga kontiroke mol be mam politiko understand bari ibe lafta diamula nin non problème oti ni nyaton kol bula yela do ko ke ni boyro soto ya foko alboyta jang bari mol be kole tamandika man futa lafta tala dame ko hanin dol man son nyimma nyanna kala ako ka ko nyama
okay brother Fadia
namu
bring molu nata bira APRC kafuta ka MPP alliance to nga molu jele mini yalon ko doli protestale musuma bimbije ka fa madam Fatoumata Jaw Mane advice along to the president koma ya fonyame ata resignta akate atani APRC te kafula no in anything victim soul fanan ye press release fanan ke kela nikuya itandi bar moja ma fanan komi ba mo ka nyame wol fanan man la fa kola so lafta yo mol ka chandi bam mine atinna APRC mol ko patilo mi alon ka nyanta falal dak amanya na kafula pati dola bawo ku kurngol wolle ketanu APRC pati toya wala yatina dalilo dolio dol be protesta lafte ni mole kacha
yo abaraka bake binto ila kumonyin akumaya tabakele ngamira ntoli approach o menta if you look at it ibajela ko reconciliation or bakonole because patio me alon ko wolle ntol wulindi usually ye menol wulindi wolka ke enemy net akido ka nyokama ikafawota nyokama ikanyo banding but thanks God Gambia na culture benyaming and in the society benyaming alhamdulillah ntol ye nyomwele wala tinna ndol bukata ka baro ning naman ku kendo ke atena la government we will come out and criticize them but in near ku kendo ke we will applaud them because Gambia niya doku ika doku Gambia so fati jawmane atol menol ya lonko maybe sign ne atol ya long honorable Sarr ya lon ne because we were in Gambia L abota je atata alo Gambia and Jollof News womo kemo nyadi lemfang kemo cham la website ole all this is before even Freedom Radio of Fatu Radio was established here in the United States. Nim Fatu Jawmane nyol katara jelo we defending APRC intenim Baj Samba Diallo ning Omar Diallo nyol many others. Ndoli Yalo ne who is Fadia Jawmane and Lamoy Abalona. I'm not going to disclose the name that I used to use there, memo pen name. But in Toli Alonko, Aman Lafi Jamela, Aman Lafi APRC, la period. So Itolia Nganio mentioned to work with President Adama Barrow, assuming that Itol left Menna, it would happen. So that is why they put up all this mechanism for TRRC and then Jame Commission and their hidden agendas. But Alaman ne Makoi, every step along the way, Italia Menta, APRC saw the resilience and we came back. None of them anticipated that APRC will even contest these elections. Because in a moment, so if you are there for that and part of it, so you're not going to be happy for Jeko APRC managed to survive, to be even the party that's going to decide these coming elections. So ake disappointment also lafta menna alama okay. And no, alhamdulillah ay palaso membula yalo mo jamale be gambe ka fuko imam palaso so. Je molbe palaso ni la ite aso de ma ala ten. Je ite ko man la fal. If into that. So good. Because ate membula is somebody else's ibadila menna o be jukulet la leo. So we are not worried about that. Okay? So some of the APRC militants might not like it because let me say this, and I said it before. In political party in the whole world, 3 categories lebeje. First category, they like the party ideology. Neither a leader bote konole imbadi ole emanke badi. They don't care if it's from the region or tribe. They will follow the party. The other group is the people they are there for their interests. Come Fati Jawmane nyol. Nia lonko their interest is threatened, they will jump the ship. The other half is the people they are totally tribal, in my opinion. You like the leader because he's from your region, because he's your tribe, or he's your friend. So if that person is not in the picture, you are out. So this category people like Fadia, they're gonna feel threatened. APRC we're gonna change the equation because we wanna be at the kitchen table. And under that environment, it's not gonna be very pleasant for those who don't want the development of the country because with Babili Mansa, that is to implement a policy. To enforce a policy, to follow up with the policy, that consistency will be APRC. So we are kind of nationalist party. And the priority will get better because we have the best political expert, member ko Sam Sarr, member ko General Tamba, the first Lieutenant General in the Gambia National Army. So we have everything what it takes to move this country. So their position is threatened because we're going to put the competent people. So until Kamen criticized, we are seeing it from far, and now we are weakened. So that change has to happen because now so our integrity is at stake. So until we protect that to the letter.
Okay. Honorable Sarr.
Yes, I wanted to come in that Fatou Jaumane question.
Go ahead. Then I'll bring my question.
As a matter of fact, just before I came online, they forwarded me a video that he, I think, made today, where he is blunt in saying that I am speaking to the Gambian Mandinkas. Let the Mandinkas get up, especially the Mandinka woman, and make sure that Ousainou Darboe is not betrayed. Purely tribal. Which when Gibril said Gibril just classified the category of people who are political in this country. Said those who follow their interests, those who follow tribe. Today, she sounds typically tribal, which I find very disturbing. But that said, I don't know, because from what I understand, somebody lobbied for Fatou Jaumane to be given an honorary position in the borough government of an advisor of an undefined communication responsibility. That his job is like, let me give you a job that is this is jobless. They were not paying him anything, paying her anything. So in bringing her, for her to identify herself with the government, just for her to pull out barely 2 months after she was appointed, because this was even 3 months ago when she was given the so-called job, which is not a job, was, I think, image damaging for the borough government. Because I understand it was a lobby, which I always argue about. There are still entrenched UDP people in the borough government disguised as their supporters, when in actual fact they are pursuing the UDP agenda, because this looks like that to me. Because she is now all UDP, and I think they just brought her in, let her sound important, and in resigning, they will say, oh, we have lost a big thing, when she has never done anything. So, I don't like the idea of people are, when generalizing that Fatou Jaumane is like the people. No, it was Fatou Jaumane alone who has not moved an inch of the system that has been consolidated for the past 5 years. I understand one time they even sued the government, went to ECOWAS, they were paid money and all that. But some people, to be honest with you, because they were in the struggle, they see it as an entitlement to run the government and not borrow. People should have listened to them to say this is what ban the APRC, arrest Sam Sarr, he touched on Balokante, take this guy there. Those are the nonsense that they know is just going to tear the country apart. And that's what they are pursuing. That's why I'm not impressed by who they are. And I don't think they are not going to go too far. They're not going to go too far. I don't think so.
Okay. Uncle Sarr,
yes.
Viewers are saying her video is an old video, 2015 to 2016.
Or the one she's talking about, I am Manding.
Yes. And I think what if she will come one day and clarify that. I think it's an old video.
But you know that the recent statement she made aligns herself totally to this guy, Ousainou Darboe again, where she was denigrating Yaya Jammeh as if we are back to the middle of the struggle between Yaya Jammeh and Ousainou Darboe. Ousainou Darboe fisiate, karaktala, karantapa, I don't know how she put it, but I can hear these things. As if you were there, come on, that's not about Jammeh and Ousainou Darboe anymore. So if she's talking the same, it's a reflection of the same mindset she had. So
Uncle, you can use bad word. Take it back.
What did I say?
The bad word F.
Or did I say F?
F word. Take it back can apologize, Uncle.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's part of my vocabulary. My kids will even stop me and say, "Dad, look, you gotta stop that."
I'm
sorry.
say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I say it. I did not even know I said it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So, consider me like that. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Before I move on to talk to the community here, I would like you to answer this question. Okay. During the negotiation, Uncle Sarr, during the negotiation, was there any time you heard Jammeh said he will not be able to bring Jammeh back alone?
That he will not be able to bring Jammeh back alone.
His decision, like President Barrow, did Barrow said he will not be the only person that can bring Jammeh back?
I think that statement was created out of a response he made when I think somebody, I think it was Panderi, it was like, Panderi Toure had an interview with him where one of the correspondents, I think the guys, in fact, I even attacked them, said that, is Jammeh going to be given an amnesty, blank amnesty when, after this? And which I thought, was even a wrong question, because you give amnesty to somebody who's already convicted. Jammeh has not been convicted of anything. He has not been charged of anything other than what Esafal has instilled in the minds of the people, that these were the crimes he committed based on no legal justification. But he, so in fact, I even call Panderi Toure and say, why did you ask that question? Looks like you put Barrow in the spotlight to answer a very critical question that all APRC, all militants, negotiators were listening to, and especially those who are against the coalition or against Jammeh. But Jammeh, it was like Barrow gave them an intelligent answer. That, look, as much as we know that Jammeh was key and instrumental in bringing back Jawara on his initiative, on everything, he said, that decision is not going to be me alone. I have a parliament. So, no, I have a cabinet where major decisions are brought before them and we debate it and see how to do it best for the country. And that's how we do things. This is not a one-man decision like me telling you today that, yes, I will bring Jammeh and this is what I'm going to do for him and that and that. Because if he had said, yes, it will be stretched to another level. Okay, when he comes, what are you going to do next? Are you going to do this? So he told them to walk away from putting him in that corner. He gave them a brilliant answer which any person would have in a democratic setup. Jammeh, of course, he won elections, but he ruled the country as the military person he was when he took over the government. He will say, let it happen, it happens. Do this, it does, the people will do it. Take this. Barrow cannot do that. I think that's more or less what he was telling this journalist, that coming back of Jammeh is something that I cannot unilaterally decide upon and tell you today. It's going to go through process, which I believe, Binto, you know that's the right answer. But it was all changed into, Barrow said he cannot bring Yahya Jammeh alone. And make it look like it's the worst statement Barrow had ever made in talking about Jammeh's issue. That's why I said, like there are spoilers sitting out there. They will take any little thing, multiply it, divide it, subtract it, get the square root and say, this is what it is different from the original statement made and from the spirit in which it was made.
Okay. You have been,
answered your question.
Yeah, you have been a diplomat. If Jammeh should be brought back, what will be the protocols involved in that procedures?
First, I would see the conditions under which Jawara was brought forward. It's not going to be the first time of its kind. If it was, then I would try to project some possibilities, probabilities, or means and ways of doing it. But Jawara's Jawara situation was negotiated. He came back, like OJ said, when they talked and they agreed. But the executive has been very, very pushy. They have been very, very aggressive in this negotiation, and there is nobody better than the executive talking to Barrow, where the whole country, the Barrow and the APRC, will mutually benefit from it. You listen to OJ's statement today, it was really assuring, because OJ was there to tell the world that it is the best thing Barrow could do. If OJ can say that, knowing who OJ is, and literally everybody, even today, for the first time, I hear Panjai Girigara, who once told me, "Oh, yangi buga soft ki dekabi, lutiara RCB onga atako." You know, he today made a statement to the effect that the TRRC was a joke. It was politicized. They came to undermine the political stability, credibility of the NPP and Barrow, and that nobody should take them seriously. So things have changed radically, drastically. It is not as it used to be in 2016, when one person, Farafenye, said, "We were afraid because of the TRRC. That is why we ran away from APRC. We are glad you are back, because now we know that the TRRC was nonsense." So, this issue of Bar Ijame coming back, if you have to give me the assignment, give me 24 hours, and I will tell you the best way to do it. Okay. I've not been thinking about it.
Okay.
But now that
when I bring you back, you have to write it out, okay? You will tell us. Okay? Brother Fadia, before let me talk to the community first. Binto Bantaba community, our show is called Binto Bantaba. Kacha. Okay, but the media has changed. We have changed the name a little bit. Tofaline domanding kata Binto Media Network. I heard other suggestions. They are saying you should have said Binto Network. No, near register. You have to. You cannot use somebody else's name. So thank you for that suggestion. Yes. So mbe alten tulambali jaila nga APRC executive le sotojang. NPP APRC la alliance mbola kachaka mainly nga honorable Samsudeen Sarr soto nga na brother soto Gibril Fadia US chapter nga na brother soto jambim fananketa Dodou jati nko jang horomoni mbunyale bijang ntol mu londin tangolet sawtuma nyimuso alkalu muso mimbe sirin jang ni manyinin karoke ibuka long. So wala nange sambanang kachamin bijang hormone mbunyala mu once again. Ninga line oli yele lefta nalbe diamula ali yak hormone mbunyati ni wonte na timo be dumaje andu mal fika keba ba block. Bar na jarta ka keba ba block mbe block la nga bara so laje nga do ko bata ngale ka ani mama kunkoyo ngale ka. Okay,
I don't understand Mandinka, but I think I had that.
Brother Fadia, dole ka follow ko APRC lungo minna ko albe ka fula NPP kandrong alamane manen ka farkela APRC patio tay minom mune APRC ila future.
The future is bright because as a leader, you don't have to worry about the reaction because that is a challenge that you have to take as a leader. Whenever they say you are the leader, alonko do no bebe lari iteleka. So and you are leading people. Many alonko they have different views, and they also have different opinions. But at the end of the day, ite decision belari itelekan. So if you near jube mobile interest be damin drone, ite ka jele jube drone, then you move on. Because niko ibe mobe batula drone ite tita and you are leading. So 1 million ya lonko wole ka nunko APRC end of APRC. Nko lawyer use tabo ya for jande ninko APRC will kill themselves. Aliu Mamanja ya for jande TRRC nanata APRC will be forgotten. Dole Fananka for Nunko Jane Commission will finish us. But in Tolma is there. kabiri tol ba fola moto kilinde bembulo sa o ka alhamdulillah moto tanni penne bembulo
nyam ko man yele balla ni alli pa dip alu buga fa nyam ko man yele balla
the level of awareness that we have today tolla patio bedame in the international arena as a political party, as a government, yes, but as a political party, mbele ya push through the militants, ka asobil wafi, kela fengol wafi, kela jurisol fana wafi, dunta fengol, you know, purka aje ko party eta nyato, dol kela asinol bulaje, kela dimbaya bulaje, all that effort is appreciated. But in mbele after mena nuwolen BT, for the first time since 2016, Ntolka Kodo Bondimea Lonko from our account to sponsor our events without our diasporans. And that is typical example from me as the head of the USA chapter. Ngakodo menka funyoma from Purka Patio Marco. It's been with me over 3 months. Hanibi Patio Manyininka Kafunyo, we need that money. And we already together for them. So this is the last for the APRC. I think this is the beginning of the APRC to achieve in Laftamenna, probably Mansayana. Yalom Binto, one thing is happening, and I want to make it clear. For Jamal Beje, they think they went to school just to come to take over APRC. Jamal Beje, they go put their money, they think they have to get recognition for APRC in Kolka for, okay, this is what you put, we have to put you forward. The seat of APRC as a flag bearer belongs to President Jammeh. Molmenka Foko, let us stand our own. So Purkata, then let us make a congress now. Other Fatih Bera leaders in Tombong. What after men they want them to be selected or elected. What the civilized coup d'etat after men kill President Jammeh. Nia Jubentoli Memfo. We're gonna leave it open until we can get him in. We are not do anything without him. First, then at that point we can see what we can do together and forge ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Ne kuma soto ebe milla fala nga question dan tangol min ke nyininka aning na question on be milla la kan jandi mbela no alimba tumbela no people are calling. The number is below on the screen +16783900539 mbe jabula la nyinjinkan den mbela no la alfana yalla question ol nyininka ja
na
alfele al kafuta NPP kan ning al nga nemu minti ala nata otimandi wala mka win itebe mummansa kunda sifanya dile nyasi kan andi be Gambian all promise la mummansa kunda sifalla from Binto Bantaba network.
Barka bake Binta follow men kumata wolom reconciliation ti molbe ke kilinti tolka nyinne yilla na nganyo mu nyinneti fulanyango tanko la bunda security ntol nana man tulove security la andung security is the top priority for APRC pachuwe andumbe mansa kunda kono andu sabanyango miro a development andu ninko development abeba kono le senola karola karola jata kende ala karola panal be bari nyimko fulolle kumayata fulo mbeke kilinti kanko kommol laftala nyame ngoyo soto wokola yirwa yenake nyinku sabol be dikili nyinna ando nadi atala e wobeke inshallah.
Okay. Mbe kola Fadia.
Namu.
Okay, hold on. Sign caller sold now. Mr. Sarr, we're gonna take some few calls. Hello? Hello, caller. My screen is gone. Hello, caller. Ooh, it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, it's not connected.
Hello, caller.
Hello. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Tony Mado. Can you guys hear him?
And
Yes.
Ndeto Musliman le timba komando UK.
Suleiman Korbi da sama te domandin for kontamalon.
Unko fresco for le bennere nda sama fawta.
Aka ta durmo bu fa ya fajindi yake be support fo.
Unko asubonya ka dialde. Akatimi alde. Akatuma e ko ni pobar ni o vanke je do mandenta ka dia bagal. Wallahi ka tele de abanya didu
bar bi yam fate wala nte bi fana wala bar lafte bir mintina ya conversation on join abe kumala bake
ha nyimba do ngabir mintin do nganjolo nga ko non tay la fa APRC ko ni kala question o minna ndanga maaje constitution to ka ko mo sa presidential pardon so no mommy alonko ima charge, I understand.
Okay.
No, so ndanga understand like Sade Dol bije like no Nimo is being accused as a presidential pardon so no hana keta ima charge, but Gambia ntema miro bije na bije isa kwendima. So ndanga je the other question mami ninkala
what form kotake Uncle Sarr will be able to so far worker. He's not charged. He's not charged for any crime. So he shouldn't.
He's not charged for any crime. But which means the president cannot give him a presidential pardon. He has to be charged and probably convicted, and then the president will have his powers to use, to give him a pardon.
Okay.
But now understand, like, in the constitution of the Gambia, that is the case. In other countries like the United States, he can be, the president can be, the ex-president like Jammeh can be given a presidential pardon by a sitting president without even being arrested or charged or convicted. But Gambia OTJ.
Okay.
You understand? The next thing never do Jani Ninkala question of Mina Olam APRC call. Agreement MOU Minket, Naketa, it all latter ko. MOU is very genuine. For ila party militant soning. A man rights sort of banka MOU Ninja Bank, Isaja convince bank, Puriba fail, whether it are fail. Naketa executive Damawale MOU Mabo, quite a Findimla. What is the reason behind it?
Okay, thank you.
Question from Ninkala. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
Baraka.
I'll hold on to that. Uncle Sarr, you hold on to that question. Hello, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Kodoge, this is
Ilimbara.
Demba.
Ilimbara Bintu.
Can you guys hear him well? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Mbela programu follow kame akumata pake. Mbe APRC executive for Mimbi Jetombe Kondona, Mr. Ja in particular. Mbe Mr. Fadia Kondona and Mr. Sarr. Akumata Bake Bintu Puruka contribute because we not have Gambia Mbekantili Nyoye Mimbe caring. Political party aning coming Afonso Hanamadingoti Luanya Kotoka. That base la Luala Carola. Okay, Nina APRC, but you are me along go register in Gambia, coming NPP Benyamin, UDP Benyamin. Okay, and they are at free will, coming previous scholar Yakinyam. Yalong Lual levelar in Bangkok and many along. Na Fongan Sembe Walla coming a ben national, anthem Kononyam. Let's justice guide our actions. Ninga okay wrong, but that's ye. Okay, a convict is a convict. Nentra Nintiarasi Minketa, and I will disagree a little bit with Mr. Sarr with all due respect. TRRC ngalong ay kujamale bondi mo Gambian ole nyot when it comes to Mineketa. Okay, entertain na coming TRRC man kuma is a farce. No, I will disagree on that. By Minketa, APRC as a political party is a legal entity. Me along in NPP as a political party came into a political agreement. This has nothing to do with TRRC. TRRC lota an act of parliament ya londi yela doku okele ye min kisi ya londi ko anyanta tala silo la nyami abe executive o nyati lingola ibe legal advice seglale and decision will be taken minne a lot of sort kan anunta nte jigita ko wobe tamandila. Okay, wo is a different setup nanata NPP ning APRC la setup la anu aka jahalo ka wara mol fo ngim bondi nyoto banko bika run on emotion luwala ka banko tamande. Okay, B ni Mosa Butonya APRC mechanism le mialong ye Jammeh support at the time, but kabin TRRC lota jeto Bintu imam moje mialong ko be APRC la executive or mom mialong ko ya accuse nala or APRC as a party itself in a legal entity woman sure nembe tonya for. Okay, but iboiriwa kola la fana APRC kita parti de mi yalon ko ni andre nyin ka ngamira ko APRC nyanta parti mi an ko be grievance soto ka kube kuke o banko kan ko comme ni banku dol na keta daminto nga jele man sami yalon ko ala marro ko lata ko yaaja me kina nyame ni wol ka consequence jele min kake but in all honesty and fairness to APRC ye loi kan tabo banko kan kabri e boyta fo sai ko keta la mi yalon ko APRC ise bambu no wol ko no min joko 3 years jotna ka banko destabilize bari ma wot okay nin be jojla on their ila daji ko be nyamina anila duwa bunya be nyamina banko kan sai nin trawol be caring ite ko hansai APRC ibe pin down on history oton titala we must not dwell on history nyini min keta be TRRC ko woma fasun setlati andum chota ko executive decision of betala water mi yalan ko in the national interest but alnga APRC jibe mumenti ye loi bunya nyame na kabring bansa kunda boyta imam motor imam bankora peace ni imam eta fajer imam tra more harassment imam tra the peace of the Gambia dystopher these are the established facts munati ne be deny la political right if these are all before everybody then we are cherry picking here Ninkombe democracy bunyala we have to welcome holistically all the tenets of democracy and that includes non-discrimination on political grounds APRC mankela support they are not my cup of tea bari ila nyanto ka loka fasa nte pare ka fa woto ko ika namo le jo banko kan banko diol lam ibe banko la loi bunyakane and the political party is a registered bona fide political party for that matter o banko kan so nyanti political party ya so to banko kan APRC is equally entitled to that
okay
nyanta nyina fahamla as Gambians asikuye bari democracy la be onyam muroda flola
okay
president to be
kanala ni parade
okay president Barrow mi mu president to be decision do la kala fa ke nyami democracy kad na buka ke no wonya so eta tarasi gaji eko ila fa banko run on emotion banko buka ta wonya ila nyanto la be bulu and they act within that right to go into coalition with any other party and ila executive ya foko janne ko jang ko even UDP approach them okay now the one in nyama who will judge Barrow on moral ground? Who will judge NPP on moral ground? If at all those people have made that attempt, how can you justify that? Then we should go after all of them. Is that's the yardstick because where they failed is where NPP succeeded. This is the fact. So APRC, particular Bankudin them, it told particular party objective assembly in our election win. We have done our assessment at NPP and told Jikitako. Policy la bijemia la foka execute for the benefit of the Gambia and nemtra APRC bina kamfasa o kan ganye na continue o dogo why not mine ka go APRC bina la ka banko tamanya yelaman won politics kumolati because mol na be an ko be barola cabinet bi well they were serving under yajan bara martin barola tamando yale falling aba okay so these are the proven facts ko APRC ila na barokan with all what happened mina ubati na barola banku tamandi nyaay fali because ngamira ko njikita ko APR sana yela mistake or realize le minketa kunu and if they are given opportunity today ngamire ba they will perform differently
okay demba dol fanang barola do kulal kono biri nyin ko keta dol kam fata ko la bak waya tinale madam Jaw ate nata resign so ite Minnesota molto hani MPP party kono dol fana e balambaya itandila ko iman la fi APRC kole la atolka individual opinion will always differ in such controversial agreements but minku mata jang coming ngani minfo luado fo luale tingata ni agreement to bank if it's no then why are you having a fuss around it more they are entitled to their personal individual opinions okay
but now they are two party floor they agree on terms and I think they went back to have a consideration around the terms and they came into agreement this is what matters here individual opinions well they are not relevant when it comes to this agreement two executive parties all the consideration also and they were into this contract and that is final this is what is relevant here more you might just go to if you leave APRC or you leave NPP at the end of the day executive decision that's what matter and only consideration this is what is in the best interest of both parties and they went into this coalition this is what matter at the end of the day the decision lies with the Gambia to give this government a chance which will entail NPP APRC loi so long as loi mantia momo be min kala jero ila individual opinion la woti Kafuko on moral ground, Nibe NPP, Georgia on moral ground today. It only be attempted to prove on terms. They are all equally, liable in that context.
Okay.
And governments they are not run on morals, neither opinion, neither on emotions.
Okay.
This is what people have to put into account. APRC is at liberty to go with any other party, and the same applies to NPP and UDP and any other party. That is salient. That's the point of law. And the nimble democracy pasala B. It go Banco Betala no nyatula leaving the APRC behind because Banco APRC is not a small party,
Okay.
So even Banco you file no nyatula with the exception of APRC. And you expect we will make ways in our democracy. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
what applies to the goose is same thing applies to the gander. We have to be honest. If we are really able to ready to embrace democracy, let us unify the country. Let us reconcile and let's do away with history and look forward to changes, to go into the future of the Gambia with an aspiration. Me alone, Dr. Gibril na predicament Italy asab.
Okay.
Thank
you, Demba. Thank you. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Caller.
Bintu ibem fele man.
Hello, Demba.
I can get you mouth with Samuel.
Demba, okay, thank you. Mbe caller do talayam. I appreciate this.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Caller do. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hello, caller.
Sí, Bintu Bantaba.
Yes.
Tony man.
Thank you. The background of telling please.
Okay, Bintu Bantaba.
Okay. Simon Toffel in the Bintu Media Network.
Okay, Bintu Media Network.
Okay. Tony Madum.
Okay. Ndumula mine dinga kolekana from Italy.
Please, implementing.
Okay, na APRC small content na. Ningira dirija Mr. Fadia ni Mr. Sarr.
Okay.
Ali da from Bintu from.
Okay, thank you.
Be kondon do be ndambur de teleka. Because ngajele dol APRC ngo 2017 nyokata 2018 buka interview from Soto. Ulega tajana from buka na mo TV buka na mo interview la fon ka jakali. But ngajele kabiri Bintu Bantamara de mialon ko is neutral for all the parties. So from there ngajele kabiri APRC mo na raje they start talking start ka jam fo bi alhamdulillah. La to wari mbejira be de pula dalto. So we go in contact back and get into law on behalf of APRC offer NATO.
Baraka.
Okay, kuma friend now maybe following in the call. Ndaka jere baro address unity samana non da mawa tema.
Okay.
Because this is a good news because niya jibe APRC nyol binje ko jamal kadaje baro na nataje. So I samana nyami it means like reconciliation of work kan tenting. Because ngajelo ko ni APRC ni baro manta. Ni module tara no at the end of the day abina kra big discredit for the penal concern of Kolala. Okay, ngaje faran ni module tara parti do let's say tara UDP o parti do to. Mol ke welcome masabal jela tara UDP ya welcome. Skalal jane e bi bodo afana bodo APRC tara UDP. To mol se bi mo APRC tara UDP. But more welcome jawo bukasia tani APRC ni NPP coalition correct adiamo share rafa ko may nekala am wonde bebe gambela na fa mbol jibe ka dinde gambela na fa daro ga di end of the day bango bita nyato
Okay.
2016 baro ya fa baro ko amman do go non ate ya fe team so wo team on nata de feli ya jamfa. So indol APRC nada kakafuka baro kam pour ka ma ko banko ni you have the experience pour banko ni ayta nyato.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you.
This is a don't deal. Zero ni sendale. So we will come. Donc APRC ko le man still from engage engage still na diam de pasila de.
Okay.
Di modo man
maybe jani election to amari ta commission ay tana.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Alimbala dembe caller soltaka at one time the ronsinali nyininka. Hello caller. Caller. Fadia. Caller ko akoni mall joint party dolto APRC call joint party dolto it's not a problem ni it's other MPP is a problem it's a phone or quarter ba
yalong
caller hold on.
Yes. Nia je wolbe okay kamfang is coming out for nyamen dron is condition most of the time. Naman ke wati APRC call buka finti. And tol fanan kam also le meneli along ke they joining us but in tol buka apurka publish into all the time. Bari komi MPP ni APRC coalition neti hani bi niya tara meeting o bekela we conduct our own meetings. We have our own bureau. We have our own executive. And we can t-shirt all do with President Jammeh's picture in it. And Amankeko, we are going to join MPP Purkana Grino Bulaje. That is why imagine na Grino Nyata Nyame. I'm Grino do for a reason to show that I am APRC. This is a coalition. Amanke control Fintitale to go in MPP. In Tolteokela, we are APRC and we're gonna remain APRC.
Okay, thank you.
Based on agreement, and that's what it is. Nimol tata glado to ye kajafi yemuru nan suwako nga mera. That's what they're supposed to do.
Okay, many caller daughter la caller.
Hello, Bindu.
Todi mado.
Ndaram lamin na ngortan.
Lamini birmintin na. Bismillah.
Thank you very much, Bindu. Baraka baka mbe congratulate to Fadia bada.
Media kodi ilaftam professional. Yaro no man professional. So ko ilaftam fansindi la kana worry.
I'm your number one fan. Your program bukan pernah terlalu busy tau.
Thank you. Birmintin na. Abarakato le atinna meja.
Thank you very much. Okay, I have a question for Ambassador Sam. Because I have been listening to Ambassador Sam for quite a while. I think for Fadia, because in Kela my back in most of their programs, because Ambassador Sam is a big critic of the foreign forces in our country. I don't think I support him for that. But right now, what is stand right now, because still the foreign forces are in the country. And then what is his reaction to it? And then because we are hearing that there is another deployment going on, so whether it's true or not, we don't know. And when are the foreign forces are going to leave? And then he is now, joining the supporting the government. That's still, encouraging the foreign forces in our country. So no question also. And then APRC NPP ni alliance ni fan la diam la je bintu.
Bismillah.
It's a loose opportunity for the UDP because now APRC they got the opportunity. UDP was having the opportunity and now APRC just profited them and they just got the opportunity. Okay. So thank you very much. Always been to know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Uncle Sarr.
Yes.
The forces are in the country and he say what do you think about them? I think they are replaced. The last show I said they are adding, but I want to clarify that to every viewer here. They are replacing the ones that left. So
thank you.
Yes, I want to clarify that because I thought they were saying they are adding, but they are replacing those. Yes, so go ahead. Answer. You can answer him.
Yes, there are two questions. In fact, the first one was, I think, from Demba.
Yes.
It was about the PRRC before the foreign forces came. So I wanted to follow the sequence and say that, you see, I have been hawkish about the TRRC for quite a while, well before this APRC NPP. I love his observation in that, APRC in a democratic setup is justified to align itself with any party, which they did. You know, and you know, I know that UDP has tried them. If they had gone to UDP, most people will celebrate them. Likewise, a lot of people will condemn them because UDP also has not been very kind to the APRC. So it's the same. It's not that people are condemning APRC entirely, everybody, for going NPP. There are supporters, there are those who are saying no. Likewise, any other party it has aligned with, especially the UDP, which is the biggest opposition, some would have supported it and others would have gone against it. But the issue of the TRRC, he has brought in the issue of, it was a parliamentary act, it was a National Assembly act, you know, that was, you know, outside the equation of the party, which is true. But my argument, because he said, yeah, he disagrees with me about my position on the TRRC. You know, I disagree with the TRRC in that it was not fairly done. It was not rightly organized, and the members were conflicted, and they even violated the very act that constituted them after they disregarded the constitution of the Gambia, because the constitution was cast aside. If they had gone by the constitution of the Gambia and work on how a commission of inquiry is established, selection of the members, and even the chairman, none of those who are in the TRRC would have been qualified to be there. But even where they wrote their own act, if you look at section 13, section 13 of the TRRC Act, they said every participant in the TRRC should be apolitical.
Hold on.
Should be apolitical. No political agenda, no political affiliation, no political ambition. That's one. Number two, no criminals. You know, they are all part of the TRRC Act. Alhaji Seri Barrow is a criminal in America, so he should be a criminal in the Gambia. Why do you take him to be the lead investigator and expect an impartial report after their finding? You know, how could you take a man like Sarr, who now has confessed openly that he was a staunch supporter of the UDP, financing them clandestinely?
Okay.
And now changing it to a political campaign, you know, before even they submit their report. And I have seen them, you know, violate the rules so badly. Like, take for instance, I'm going to give you one or two examples just to put to him why I disagree with the TRRC. Ismaila Jame, Aliu, Jeng, they said they were junglers who were brought before the TRRC and asked to confess their crimes. They told them what they were doing different from what they expected. Sarr alone took the decision to lock them up for now 5 years. I've consulted all lawyers in the country who say it is illegal, and nobody can stop that. You know,
okay, Uncle, hold your thoughts. Hold your thought right there for me.
Yes.
Yeah, hold your thought right there. Let's finish up with the callers, then we'll wrap up. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, Tony Mado. Are you there? Caller? Mbete mbelai not. Tony Mado.
Yes, Bindo.
Tony Mado.
Musa Conte.
Conte bir mentina.
Okay, nangin garwa reglamenti. Nangin garwa reglamenti. Okay. Musa Conte. Nara kire dagang Babakar tombonjara nana dia mulako. Our Gambia without gorilla wola to give their independence from Senegal. On the Barola leadership.
Okay.
Obaro kilo APRC wola kanata coalition.
Okay. So
what has changed?
What has changed? Okay. So that question. Mbe question odila Jamal.
Ko Gambia without bidin chelola.
Okay.
Because of Barola leadership.
Mbadila Sarr la ya.
I didn't mention with ako UDP
APRC engage about coalition. Birja ni ngale question ni. Nongo ni meaning ka okay. Can you be APRC engage about coalition?
Okay.
Let us Birja confirm. Then ko na do.
Okay.
Ndalo ni kala wali di na mana APRC engage about coalition.
Okay. Mbanye nkala because anane na ko
no mbole Gambia bi mu le wala ko ni di ko. Ni a possible da ala boro ni APRC la ma ko embassy da Gambia Gambia la $150 million ni ala bi na constitution ko na le fola a constitution no murana
okay
na de murana ala ko constitution ni ala de ba ko ni sawot okay ti dana ko da nyamo ko nyamen ti ala arsi da nyamo ko no wala nyamo di APRC campaign against the APRC ndo jele.
Okay, abaraka, thank you. Mbe la question oli nyine nkala. Okay, thank you. Kola solo na Brother Fadia.
Namu.
Okay, nying honorable nene ya follow konung Gambia no ila sovereignty President Barola time we might fight a guerrilla fight to gain our sovereignty. So malon fo so jinkan no ban ke nyinin kar labo le nyinin kaka.
That's right. Abaraka Bake Bintu. A question on Kumaya Tabakele because APRC last time Mobe along control sovereignty, we don't play with that. Give the example, Cameroon President Jamenata, that was the first time Gambia found they are responsible for their own security. Jawara Senegal Bejele no at one time.
Hold on, Doc.
At one time to supervise our military. But the Cameroon President Jamenata, totally Gambian. Wofanan told be believing in Walla. Honorable Fabaka Tombonjate Memfo, Wolem Tonyati. But what can we do without being part of the kitchen table? Yalo wole important. Niata Melola Fayel na boss lebe jangwamo President Jameti. We're gonna go solo ngate Londi. By woman Keno. That's why we have to be in order to be counted. Because the kitchen table, Baroni Woleka Diamu, that is the cabinet. But near we are in the cabinet at that level, we will have something to say. And no fanam. Many in the economic faunata is because of us. It's still a telekafukon na soldarol, they are loyal to President Jame. Walatina itol silata walla and defend and get this with the whole coalition, itate Senegal and economic forces nati.
Okay.
Throughout his tunnel, Bulaje, but in Intol Nata, that has to change. Because Gambia have to be manned by Gambians no matter what. That's what we believe. And no
Okay. Mbenyon call tala, mbe two more call tala drong nga wrap up. Hello caller.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. How are you and your panelists?
Fine, thank you. Name, please.
My name is Mohammed Tikani, and I just wanted to make a little contribution. It may not be popular, but then, I want to make a contribution. First, I want to say that the reaction about this, NPP, APRC coalition or alliance is a normal and expected reaction that every other person should have expected to happen. Why? Because it is normal human reaction due to insecurity. The people, majority of the folks that are reacting is because they are insecure about the might of the alliance. That's why they are reacting. But then I want to state that it is very important for people to look back to history and understand how politics works. Most especially within our sub-region, we have got a lot of examples that we're supposed to learn from. An example I want to cite is Ghana. Ghana had, Gigi Rawlings. Gigi Rawlings did a lot terrible in Ghana. And with all that Gigi Rawlings did, they also had a commission that they established in which, they reviewed what had happened under Gigi Rawlings' review. And at the end of the day, the former president of Ghana, Kufuor, had, a choice to make, a choice between the progress and, peace of Ghana and the conviction of, Gigi Rawlings with consequences. He decided to go on to the progress and peace of Ghana, which is much more better for the conviction of Gigi Rawlings. And at the end of the day, he made the choice, but it was unpopular at the time. And at the end, today, everybody is citing Ghana as an example of, what they are doing, which is because of the progress that they made. And so what I want to, state, the reason I made that example is because J.J. Rawlings and Jammeh share a lot of similarities. And Ghana and the Gambia share a lot of similarities as well, socio-politically. But then we cannot talk about reconciliation, or we cannot talk about justice if we think we're going to exact or be retributive. Because when we talk about retribution, it means we're going to give back to the people what they gave us. But at the end of the day, it is going to be a viscous cycle, a continuity. If, for example, Barrow does that and Barrow goes out, somebody else comes, he's going to do the same thing to Barrow. The person goes, the one coming next will do the same thing. It means there won't be an end. But then, for more killings, sort of Munyala, Isaja Nato Taita, but we move to Munyala, Nato Tatano, Avakako, it is going to take time. But then what people need to understand, it doesn't mean when you reconcile, there won't be any element of justice. Of course, there will be an element of justice, be it in the compensatory form, or be it in the case of prosecution or whatever. But then there must be a form of reconciliation. It starts with reconciliation before we go on to justice. And that is what I want people to understand. The best I want to give to the people that are shouting about the alliances, go form another alliance that will be might and be in the position to challenge this one. They're investing time on this one, which has already gone on.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more, that's it. I will close the calls. Hello, caller.
Are you from Ghana?
Caller? Okay, that one is not in. I will take two more calls. Hello, caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Naam Todi Madu.
Sani na mnyancho sidia.
Okay. Sani Brimintina.
Inimbara. No. Ante man question sotonde just Mr. Fadia, Dodou, and Mr. Sarr. And APRC executive for Ndone Dani. Bari ni benyato kwala. Abuka easy. Because political comment coming for political things sabale solo. To follow what I'm planning, you already pareta one. To flange what I'm interest. Because no more political my interest also you are joking. A pareta interest or la sign to labo what I'm patient. What I because patient even then go moina Walter, even cool be moina Walter. Niaje yuji pibuka soksi. Jene mina main problem. So I try to go in Yantam Munyala, even then go moina, and that if they can take that patient, it be succeed.
Okay.
So in the last time let them try and keep on engaging people. I do have a young more told by Gela because all big they don't understand in the leadership. Don't be there from me Kabbalah. Make it sure they don't understand. You may understand what I'm Barman Maya Jamajai, Barman Maninke. But when you engage in soon, you can fully explain for your understand. One of them understand. They are just keep on following their followers, but they come in for a book along from.
Okay.
So you cut up really more engage and then you cannot come far. Nendro na pe tuni nendro nyakasi na go ko akete nyawonya. Ngamo ko sani the 75%. Asikene 80% so.
Okay. Thank you.
So ntibe dani ka walla baraka.
Thank you Sane. Sane baraka nga yamarlo woka kumaya bake. Aka important bake do ko ebe ko kuto. Uncle Sam, you can go ahead about the economic.
I had asked you earlier. No,
yeah,
I was on the APRC and then I'll continue to the economic. TRR.
Uncle Sarr, let me take this last caller. That's it.
Okay.
This will be our last caller. Then we can try to wrap up, answer the questions, and Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam binto keba sabal level sinki Finland nye kontong
Uncle Sabal.
na platform molbe kontong Mr. Ja ani Fadia ani Mr. Sarr menu de la platform otobi
Baraka
nye konton min konton birol be horoma malam ba fole assalamu alaikum
alaikum salam
andum ba fole fane na ta platform momento model la platform mo wolen sije ni wonte mantara APRC barbudo na ka chablamento mumbe la banta balti kunu biya mun na mediat
Uncle hold on jeni be dunna diamo kono lafta ngeten to follow nge jayi bawo kela musobula kanedan ku ntol me nka fon fangole rifra fo le grassroots londing tangol ye mbafa kula na nata nin kachata na kacha kendo kembe tentulambe jayi la wala yam
binto mbele dentala banku do ko nim momu banku do kula kendoti imanya na fola ko ya kilinne benna ande manya na fola kari mun jawole tinna man tara pati killing e manya na modo ya la kati mo banku di woti banko kan nyamen wo fana mo banku di woti banko kan wole nyama andu la platform e daele mol bele woto mbele kanyanta je enene mam modo ya je wala tin nangela luntawlu kon ton nim bunya la katum ina tam bunya platform ole
bismillah baraka
yo kola fanan lafta me tan la because ngamista fodem batole mbanga ma fanan diamta ay hakil maya jama ko me alon ka kumaya bari me yente jahal APRC la kuoto wala alla executive fa ngamoy wala li dala ko ini ya jamme buka diamuno ina man diamu karnanga mulla wato men alla yin discussion o be date kan nata je sodeli alka fanya ko ya jamme ko wala alla wol fanan jahal ko mune atinna ni manka tol la personal interest kado ndol la leader na tol buka diam sai dia kana tol sodeli alka fanya ko ya jamme ko maya ya jamme diam kambay definitely ni la ta pour yela mol convince wodo ngam nyanta men kala wala yela leader dal mem ya jamme ke pula e kamoti ala moli asimem moy bawo fana ma illegal pour yela jamme diam kambay ka foko abe appel la APRC ko le ko ntele ko ni ko ni ntele bula indo ko wala bar hani bi woto tuk yere sai nandi je wala woto waliya mem fontela ta wala ko yalo mol mantara complain kanko mune atina APRC ko jointa NPP wamanga kumoti jande mol kada na complain munana APRC as a party ani NPP jointa yalo APRC dimol mo banko dimol lati dana nyaaw tamke wala binte ko baro men toluna tolbe kunu mbe ko baro mu man sajjaw baleti amano banko be tinyakan suddenly fofiyale mba alsila tale banko UDP ni na tamaralo la tolbe ko le ala sotolaman fo alsila tale banko aliye kule ke bamne alonko wala silo ba masilama ballaba wala naltata in the name of party bank fo munem katu banko ni mo be mu banko dingolti mola jute mola APRC ko men ka foko duru janyol ñun UDP ko mu mo kam far wolleti bina jul jumale don to ta men de jola fo ite duru jaye bole don to bang APRC la wato kono kuja wala men bine jole la bang waram Fadia waram Sarr ni wo manke Gambia di mo man nyanto soto ka iyo anyon Gambia di wala kula ka foko ay ñine kenna ali wo kumo landi nali be lala NPP kan atani mbi no fam bar party line manjan na understand nal kadiya mal la leader to katu annan la leader bu kadiya muno aliye memfo ndoma fod atolle ko alnabu kadiya muno alla party leader yako ala assistant number 1 yako ko ini ya jamme bu kadiya mu fo months comme na kala mutako wato alla modol ko kuyale bije sai mune
suddenly al kalne dante wotola ni ne banko dingol jahali mantarali noma mantara mo bayinde kan al nin tol be mo banko dingol te mam fisiyati Gambia mam fisiyati Gambia dulu tan ni ke man banjole la menna ka hinna man ku kenna na man ku kela alin kana politiko non ni min diamo la ko karinyol mu kam fatol leti karinyol mu jola leti jumale ku ke jumala birin yim banko falinta ka foko ngani tembal ya ko len tembal ya nan ka ya maralo ko na ya kala mutale molle lota PRC molle lota kay tande ko ni tele ni kenna ni molle lota commission nyaati wala ka fo on tele ni su nyanta ka bank ngani fo mu ku ni malte ban hana to fo pe men ya lon ko APRC government na rigimo wato kon al fo ya je men lota ko ndele tarifa ndele yendele ko ikontole ni keten ndele fo al ko ngana wol fanam fo ban nalla ban ko di yakon ko ku jawbal lekata andum fali malon banko government do so to zakandra to sanji tan saba bari wonna ta sonno ko to bota jene munan na ton ko ya jamne man sa ya to mannola faye tije buray so len gambe fanan na kayro te man fali ma haklo so do banko gambe nol man tribal gambe nol bete atal na to ko ya jamne sel men be ka ka television woto mo yimbe tamam barnala wato fanan banta al te sonno la banko ya jambe la wato bantale ba al te sonno ko don fan na political interest taraje wato wata telbe santo modol be dima ali miran na bankola nalu den tamen nako mbele kanyante ja to tono liyo to don albani na modolu wolbe banko minna ala hakiltu ali tani hakilo ala baraka
baraka sabale Uncle Sarr, you hold on, let Dodou answer him. Dodou ya kola moyle sabale ani ya kuma fanan soto kola solla kumoto yo wrap up janni bita Sarr ya den Fadia sedunna no mo ko
man kolal bela moy dol bije ila diamol ka kuntule nata ko mi role kentela karola ni semma ko woto nga moy pour nga jabi ko
sabal la nyindo yewo moyle last kola ni
mabe moy aka kuntule na network wolo
ako kuma kama mi ya lon ka tol ka wala use ka fo ko jamme wala bal ko ma nyinna anda ko man senea waya worile anin alaka fo le fanan ko UDP man sakunda be jola la almanya na wol fola anin fo atol silata UDP man sakunda ni wol nata ibe min kalal nin wata atol be santo alda be lioto modol be duma malo e Minnesota ala kuma kanto
barka bake ka follow jammela kuma kangolto ngamera nga ko indi janne executive ko le bijang andum atela ya maroto ko tol le bijang wato watin tol le ba Gibril même petiata patio ya ni banko e ngata mande sa minul kallo wala minul be sirika fo jamme se diamu tol nyanta min kala ngake tol nte malo wol ya bondi min tole babe sapere na constitution no le bang amantara wol ko jamme nene audio bondi ka foko ni mol mam moy kula ate dala wo man nyanda kala nena ma wo fanam moy bari afo jamme doro mol la miro des andu APRC tol man kana fo UDP la karola tol le fintita asinya jamalu honorable Senu Dabo ya fole ko UDP man sakunda lawyer Dabo presidency be former president anala molu be kitindila ndiko anala molu ite pati o bondi nola je la spokesperson fintita ko itul mansula APRC la andu mansula na kartela ama me la nyaton ko fanam fintita jam kote ka aya fo ko iba make sure la ko TRRC ba implement la tudi lata natara dol wala be ala wolie pour ite carte di la UDP la ikana di UDP la bari nena ma mo APRC na nyaton ko na press conference wala press release fintita ka UDP ata ndol bu ka woke andu wate nyini ka UDP la karola na nyaton ko kam fo na bunda be yala rinne APRC nene ma wuli ka pati killing am tarani banko nene ma wuli ka pati killing pati o pati ne amoy ni APRC be kachala itul nata APRC e jiko soto andu ya lonne ko APRC molle be ko ma ni nge soto se gagner soto no nata ra APRC mu pati ndinnetu num itol te fangol batandi la pour kana APRC andu lafta dani rokela doronga another online interview sotale in 19 minutes woto ni le ñu dilante se saroke
mbatu dole question o nyinin kaje nene afo janne binto banta ba ko UDP party nani yal contact bar UDP nene mal contact for coalition and say moli ya moy ko UDP call nga moy rambola ko UDP call fa honorable Fabakar contact. So is that true ko UDP where they contacting battle fanam fenka kaneno APRC?
No, ni UDP Fabakari contact. Rambo is deputy. Ujama ani Rambo ka kachale. But at the executive level, nana ma UDP more receive wala ila letter wala information ye na ko UDP left on told jela. Committee le bembulu mi alongo pati wo pati interest soto pour ka APRC bit. Inimbo committee le kamit fulo. Andu sembe o committee kono. But UDP la information nana mam futa nanko ini APRC left nyomo ila le. Left wo ko indilale. Maybe naketa bekena at that level nte kunkilimo partil be nyim banko kam yalon ko yente duru jale kumandi yela itari do la lafo itandi ko ñul APRC lafta do ko kela bari nene mam parti o safre nene mam futana executive la nte fana nene man samba nene ma samba executive meeting parce que ni duru jale kumandi ha be APRC nte mo ko kilingolati de decision be ngola nte kuta mandi no la parti o toyala natara du ñomandi yimbe ka kele bari woma munta ko woli pati wala approach ani yankumandi le fo ila office do pati fulam handa fike dur ko ni benta kachata e kuma jamale fo bari imam futana executive level defe wo is personal amma futa pati wala level oto
okay sam mbeten tula mbeja ile nata kota Kenya be banku do ko men thank you Binto Media Network ngoy ko thank you once again. So Isabori, where you going?
Aparka pake me mol konton na kola solbe mo lafta fana man no bebe tentula bebe jela bari lafta me fala wati na alfa ba fala Gambia beke kilinti bari programme mo bulala o mo kilin tentula nga jeyi be mo yam janeti ya be Sweden na yam janelo tele tabu ak programme mo jibele ba tentula ba jela ndetalo man kontanta la pola bake.
Thank you. Uncle Sarr.
Yes.
Uncle Sarr, go ahead and answer those two questions, and so you can wrap up too.
I was talking about the TRRC, how conflicted it was, in that they appointed people whose qualifications are questionable, in that they violated the very rules they set to guide them, in that there shouldn't be any criminal in the TRRC. There shouldn't be anybody who is politically affiliated with any party. It's been proven now beyond reasonable doubt. Even Baba Gale Jallo also is expressing his political ambition before the report was submitted. And, at the end of the day, a government looks at what is beneficial in terms of stabilization. That is why I am talking about the government looking at what is the best. If prosecuting Jammeh or whatever is going to undermine the stability of the country, why go for that? The victims are there. In fact, the victims, some of them have even been compensated before the report was submitted. I would have expected the victims to wait until the report is submitted and the government looks at it and say, yeah, this is victim A, B, C, but they have selected few and paid them, including Balo Kante, whom they say I tortured, for killing over 8 Gambians, in the 1996 attack of Farafenni barracks. So, there is so much, unfairness in the whole TRRC process, including what I said, the locking up of Ismaila Jammeh and Aliu Jeng on the same principles that they released Edward Singate. They called them, they did not say what they expected them to say. Edward Singate was expected to say that he, with Yankuba Toure, killed Koro Cisse, the reason why they locked up Yankuba Toure. He said it was false. That never happened. That Koro Cisse was killed by MFDC rebels. And they were satisfied with that. They left him to go. Now, so, the contradictions, they undermine everything because people have been so fixated about the big talk of Esafal that they expect now revenge, vendetta, punishment. But now Esafal has thrown everything in the dustbin. So that said, I come to the foreign forces.
Yes, foreign forces.
The foreign forces. I have been from day one talking about the presence of the foreign forces, how we should regularize their presence in the country to make them accountable to the government, or for the country to know which country or whether they are directly under the control of ECOWAS, which send ECOMIC, but the Senegalese forces are sent by Senegal. You see, recently they had an accident here. People were killed. And we don't know under whose jurisdiction these people are going to be tried. All those things I have called for it. Let us bring it to the National Assembly. Let them talk about, let them call the president, the vice president to explain. Because the agreement that brought, for instance, the foreign forces is exclusive to only the two presidents, maybe Macky Sall and Barrow. So I thought they should regularize that. But nobody wants to do that. I have been saying this over and over and over. Now, it has come to a point where I know that nobody is listening to me. They want to turn me into a crazy man because I am the only one ringing the bell about the foreign forces, foreign forces, foreign forces. Nobody seemed to care, just like what happened before 1994 when foreign forces were brought in by Jawara, and nobody cared about why they are here. So when they had a problem, nobody knows how to resolve it. And that is what precipitated the coup d'etat in 1994, the crisis within the foreign forces. And this is why I was always talking about foreign forces, foreign forces. Now, I have never thought that I will have an opportunity to go into the government now. Because since I walked into the government, I have been discussing, in my own way on how to settle the foreign forces problem, which I think eventually it would. Like my friend used to say, there are two Fs, like in F as in Foxtrot, two Fs in life. When you are confronted with a challenge, if you cannot flee with it, you cannot fight it, flow with it. I am flowing with a challenge that I know by flowing with it, I may come with a solution. And I have tremendous solution that I believe if implemented, it will solve the foreign forces problem.
Thank you.
I have had people contradicting themselves.
Thank you.
I have had people contradicting themselves. Let me finish this one. Like one, I think it was Omar Wali, who 2 weeks ago was querying over BBC how terrible the foreign forces are, how great our forces in the country are. GNA, our army, our police, they have been to Darfur, they have been to peacekeeping, they are the best. They have been to Sierra Leone, they say they are the best. Why do we need Senegalese here? Why do we need foreign forces here? Because they saw this rotation that was politicized and misunderstood, interpreted wrongly. So, and I say, wow. And I even said, I wrote, and I even talked to him. I said, no, this is a rotation, not necessarily.
Yeah.
He came saying, oh, wow, have alliance with Jammeh. And he wants to bring back Jammeh here. Senegal is waiting for him. When Jammeh comes here, Macky Sall will hold him responsible. The foreign forces have to stay. So where are we to head in with this kind of thinking? So, this is why I think Gambians are just sometimes noisy, but they are not logical in their analysis of the reality on the ground. So the foreign forces issue is something that is very delicate. And if Halifa Sallah, big Halifa Sallah, all those people are afraid of talking about it. Who am I to say anything other than to get into the government and probably show Barrow how we can deal with them in a better way? So those are the two things I believe that needs to be clarified. If I don't, you may find, you might ask me more. But
so I'm going to send you one more question before you wrap up.
Yes.
If MPP APRC happen to win the election,
yes,
what form of government are you foreseeing, and what form of what would you promise Gambians about what form of government are you foreseeing, and if you will promise Gambians if that will happen?
Yeah, I was not part of the APRC when they made this. They came up with this slogan: a transparent government, an accountable government, and a probable government. When they took over, That's what they say. Soldiers of difference who will stand for transparency, accountability, and probity. This is what I expect of a new government after 2021 elections is won by the two parties. I expect a very transparent government, an accountable government, and a probable government. Government that would, be open to criticism, government that will do things right, government that will not be wasteful. And in fact, I am always campaigning for anti-corruption. I think if corruption is brought to its knees, which I think we could, the country will progress far beyond imaginable. We have had two governments before which have tried, I think, but they have not acquired that challenge. There are countries that have. I don't believe in leaders amassing wealth. I don't believe in so many things that I believe I will inject in the system, and I am hoping that, yes, that's what it is. I don't know, and again, you have to respect the fact that we are sharing it with so many people who have their own perspective of how a government is formed and run. And these people have been chronic in their thoughts and in their beliefs. I don't believe in forcing anybody into coming on my way, but I believe in discussion, and that perhaps they will listen to me when I talk, So that is my position. I don't know whether I have answered your question, but that's what I believe in.
All right. We appreciate you, Uncle, for coming. Mwah! Big kiss. Mwah!
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Yes. We will, if we need you, we'll come back, just like you always open your doors to us.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
If that is the case, I think I wrap it up.
Yes. Wrap up.
To the great Gibril Fadia. I've not been hearing from him lately. And Dodou, I also say hi to you. I've lost him in the screen.
Yes, but, he's gone. He have another. He's gone for another interview.
So thank you so much, Binto. I love it. I enjoy it. I am always available. And like I said, you asked me back. I will write the story. I send you private messages soon after on my WhatsApp.
Okay.
That will probably shock you. I don't want to bring it online.
Okay.
But this is between you and I, okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Greetings to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Fadia.
Namu.
Okay. Niya daw kuja lola kanta fa namu. Malon diamu lalbe diamu ta telephone auto male lafta mine jinkanda janni benna last question o kilena.
Yalong, Binto, this is definitely helpful and very timely. Komi UDP calling memfo kafuko to coming in the medium pour call clarify. It requires a lot of patience. And what I'm telling you, even though the decision making at the executive level wasn't something very easy, like I mentioned. But the majority, you have to go with the flow.
Okay.
Even though there are some people who have different opinion on the whole thing. But until Bedam is saying, we have to think outside the box. Coming out from Nyami, APRC, until Mandalika opposition. We don't know how opposition runs better than UDP wala goal wala mnintika katara opposition yala forever ala me mako ela water. Until we are thinking ahead, we're thinking about problem solving. But do no la nyame masakunda kono. The things that we criticize them, kajubeke we can make a change. And we are not going there, Kafoko. We're gonna listen to whatever they say and we do. No, it's not going to happen. We also want something by the coalition on them, so we will work on that, and they totally understand that. And we are all working on one Gambia. Niaje UDP call ya for Jan Kafoko APRC for UDP and woman Terratol Bulokono because Barrow is from UDP as an independent candidate, and it will be Mararola for 2 years. What they have done, nothing, absolutely. 14 years old. So therefore, Nitol Nata Jankafo, they're gonna send things to Oscar Fuko, APRC Nyanta prosecute Lali. Let me tell you this. In 1980, Kabiri Mustafa Dansoye Ekumahoni Binkudola Ayafa in State House. It was lawyer Dabo Menketala defense loyalty. So where may you turn the Wolem Yintiko Kafuko Nyineke, that doesn't mean Kafuko they don't have to stand up for him. And then it is right to stand up for somebody who killed somebody. But in now, we're gonna follow it to the letter. You know, that is not something that we are going to welcome. So if we are more leader threatening, more Kafoko, you're not gonna make peace with us. We're not going to work with you. Period. You know, Honey President sign now President Jame Manta. That is going to be the end of the coalition, whether you believe me or not. Because we believe in something, we have our objectives, and we are focusing on those objectives. That includes Gambia interest, that include particular interest, that include the party leader interest, for that matter.
Okay. So the MPP call for number for can Dolma Hani, you call APRC call Mararokele. They have experience in governance.
Yes.
Ning atol nata and Nimbaro nata as a government, atol APRC would like to take over.
Well, Aman can take over where they lack our strength is there. We will make sure push for that. The security is not doing better. Latter part of a better outcome, but we have the experience that everybody understands and knows that APRC do better in security. And foreign forces that is our enemy number one to discuss. Because you can land grabbing menke kadi Chinese solar. We don't believe in that. You know, we believe in landmen sort of to empower our people, yet to the land, to till the land. That's what we believe in. Nabafana nyolfana yemenke to give it to the Chinese and all these things that is going on is something that we don't welcome. So those are the things we're gonna go with. Oh no, that is not going to happen. We have to work together. Where we have strength, we establish. Where they have strength, they establish. Together, we can forge ahead and make Gambia a better place for all of us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Leela Bunda all the time.
Yes.
Binto Media Network, normal all the time. Knock. So, Laftela last word for ne Yamarlo so Dominico Noto Alliance and in Gambianol election of Felicita and in diasporianol. The floor is open for you before you leave us.
For everyone who is watching, Along Kotumando, we said something that is not very welcome to others, but however, and we are not perfect, and there's room for improvement. Naliaje APRC Tatanu Nyaming for 22 years, what we have done in Gambia, Jawarala 32 years, a lot of things woman sort of. The education that President Jammeh brought to this country, definitely more Jamalebe Fannafakan J, and even though President Jammeh is not in the country. So that is continuity that we expected to happen. So na military for security fana aya reform nyaming aya change nyaming aya betiandi nyaming indinti nga tarajanne kabrin fili fosol be Gambia kanabula sign. So he did a lot of things for Gambia. So laftale woli continue. So walatina we are saying that APRC is coming back to power. And no bekelale inshallah nga fole konunko 2021 December 5th we are going to State House. Of course, we are going to State House to make some, and there, if near Tara control, we are not value added. We are not going there. The usual thing to happen. No, it's going to be very unpleasant for some people because in Tolfana we have to make impact because Gambian only will expect, and that is exactly what we are doing. Most of all, reconciliation or been to. A lot of countries started this hard time during in Kualketa. You know, Ntefanana family, everybody else family. Amanke ko modole dama torata in the last 22 years. There are some people whether they were wrong or right, there's a lot of cry somewhere else, as it was in 1981. But in Kabirin Junta Nata, which is Gambian soldiers, Bankota, they didn't go back to prosecuting more many they are implicated in 1981. So we have to fight ahead. And kumo close la dami wolem second Muslim on lonko. I just want to go to religion a little bit. What I'm Fatihul Makkah. Tabrin kila sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ya bondi maka tata Medina. Ya kele abeje for 10 years. But during that time, Amurtanan in Makkah, ikafole ko Fatuhul Makkah. I sembo soto nambanta, aniwo sembo nata in Medina, in Makkah from Medina. I emuneke kabring I will know. I sako kabala chabo. I omurundi mari kanne kafuko atole ka marano ala mara. Modoli amira fa if he takes over, he gonna bring a revenge. But he opens a new page, start. So this is what we are saying. Ko President Adama Barrow Manyana Jila Fanang, then we send him to exile. When we gonna stop this routine of African mentality? Na Mansa Kundali na we will say they are good people. You tear down the road, they did the best of their ability, and it didn't satisfy most of the people. Then we castigate them, we kill them, we jail them. When we gonna have to change this attitude? Biden told so we have to put it to practice. Anyanta start la ntole nga jeko President Yaya Jammeh menke President Jawara pura na anu woman dianu because kabring ayake ay ablay ko jabi senje aning Amadou Samba at first a man song but ala molle nata idiamutai. The same thing we want to do with President Jammeh, even though a man song wala na son, then we have to send people to him. And let me break this silence. Then in President Jammeh Diamuta is less than 20 days ago for over 3 hours. And I want to say this for a record. But in Diamuta Menna, I cannot come out and say this. Animal buka diam, animal ka diamule. So, but Janimbe Kumofola, you have to make it relevant. And you also have to make it where it's going to make an impact to the situation, ka remedy. So therefore, I'll tend to Lambal Jaila.
No, Fadia, hold on. It's an Jammeh Diamuta for almost 3 hours. Ngayon kachabing beke jang. Mol bebe la wala. So it's but Fadia.
Yes, Binto, I know where you're heading to, but like I said, I mean, Yalong Colonel Samsudeen for Janneko, ani model kadiam. But you see, the level of discussion is amukuleti me alonko. I'm not coming here to say that. But a lot of people from Belamo.
But hold on. You can go free like that.
But the time of Mantelesiland.
Hadi table for time, but nko for it la dimbayal bebul. Ibe dunka nyola. Ko be kere. Nte mantara patiye jang. Mantara patiye jang. Ntebe Gambia lejan tolla jang nyanta to falina nga fo Gambia doro so ntol bi jang Gambia doro bare fondi modol battle noma alla pati noma could they want to listen to Jammeh Munana Jammeh is having a conversation atul fanaman Jammeh convinced if you spoke to Jammeh for 3 hours Jammeh can make that audio either agree or no agree.
No, but Binto, let me tell you what he told me about the audio. I can disclose that call. Atema authorized for audio near Fintin. So right now, Ngamoy Hani Dudujaya clarify. Kafoko Atela request them to make sure that call audio bondi pour molia long. But under no circumstances should anyone record anyone. I don't believe in that for any reason. Purkamodo, please, without the consent of the person. As a person, individually, nemanake and under any circumstances, because I don't think that is right. But in to thinking that ko abe do help la. If he's coming to the person and he doesn't appreciate that, I think we all have to apologize to him for doing that, because manyana more please to something that he don't want himself. Then we have the right to do that.
So Jammeh is saying that ko allow diam dolmin finti tanang ame authorize.
But you do the first one leak. That means I'm authorized. So the second one for na ateko atelier request. I just want everybody to understand kafuko momu more to drone as you can know about things, as you can know about things. But in Tena I'm very pleased Nadia Muta, and I was very happy Kafoko Nadia Mutafana ayen lamoy to what I said. But it domoro commit tabiro nama mo, then you don't have to come out. There's a lot of protocols. Nia Jube Ibrahim Sankare Fintita. The last time Kafo, why President Jammeh Nyantatala on air, and there was an agreement of the MOU. even though itol aside the MOU wasn't implemented, but kabring itol yaje ko President Jammeh is talking, they are thinking that ko atele kanyinke to involve himself into the politics on the ground. And that wasn't the case, even though they were in denial that Kafuko the MOU never had happened. And aketale. So I am privy to a lot of information and laughter walla. I driven by my conscience, but I have leaders whom I will follow as the chain of command.
Okay, Fadia, hold on. Jammeh benjibe kan. Jammeh. President former Jammeh. Niano e fintine na Binto Media Network. Ngalo ne benjibe kan. Malo fa connect port indi wala purum kana la IP address o jewa. Abayko.
Tell you this, I can la moile. He what he said because haninte found la diamol akan la moile.
Nko ngajela be yo fila palantero. Abe yo fila palantero. But Fadia, thank you so much contenta and natal nin kachata jam. Gambia no atol min benjibe kan alim follow Binto Media Network na programme mba tula wala nyama mba follow ko Binto banta ba kacha ni aje mbo fola alkalu musoma londo soto londo is not there so nka molle sambana tol mu grassroots le tol kumpatale nka la fi kachala ngalo mimbe kere na service of an Gambia mbe mina donate mbe mina kala non na banko wala mkana ka nyen kacha sifalke ka mol sambana mini alon ka londo ning a horomo ning abunya bebulu yenana ning ya kacha nalbe YouTube alin subscribe Fadia wala tinnan tolbe sirin jam mal londi soto alnin nak nyen kacha al buka jutuna al kanal ka nalka kacha jam nga appreciate bara fo kendo mi ya fen ko yol do palantero mbita nyakutula da detili do. Thank you so much, thank you brother. Thank you. No afela nga kacha ke nga fale nyame Gambia no londi tentol bulu kachalem politiko dum atamu kachalete nganna to falling min keta saying na to kuto mo Binto Media Network let mbalten tula mbali jayila mbe tarlali nyim palaso to janne mbe nanyum programme o continela dimas nyaato do man dimbe programme o dol fanan create la kacha la dol fanan bina nal denta jannale Gambia no la li la moy ntol nal denta jannale ntol nal denta jannale ibo political party o political party dukare alim contact na lafta alienana nali kacha so mbal tentula atulumin ka la hajo betuje alienana alien lamoy na kachala mallondi soto baren kamini sambana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin politiko mo agree lati anin disagreement walam democracy bari niya be ko hormone mbuñate isa kuje ma karanno sama maybe dola kuma kamo bi atediale bar sama you can use it isa keno ila londo la bank to yake la jibokon lusesi Binto do fojam amandie bi bar lundo isa funo ha hakilo tata fenka karleto so mba tol follow tentula mbali jayila den bitala nga honorable Sarr, thank you so much for coming in again having this great discussion with us. Na brother Fadia Fela Tata, thank you so much once again. Dodou, we appreciate you. So nalbe danna jambi dimaso koteng. You never know mbe jamal sambalana. Ala baraka nalbe YouTube alien subscribe. Nalbe na Facebook oto alien follow. Alkana niajen kofo pour min satina nin nata late. It's a notification also. It's a notification also. The notification is very important. Alkana na soul miss. Ala baraka. Thank you. Thank you. I'll tend Thank you. Sambu. Ala baraka. luwati alama wula ya luwati kondinke alama nga kuntu kaira kono ala barakam nanim banko alama karte fayo na kaira kono ay bam kaira kono. Gambia is always one. We cannot be two. We are one. We are one. Mwah. Ala barakam. Jane. Ala barakam.